Welcome to the close and a holiday shortened week we are going to have here, but there's plenty moving there. You just had market movers at lunchtime with Trader Pratt and Ms. V, and a lot happening to be sure as we navigate the symbols that are moving so we can take advantage of them for our trades. Overall, it's a red day in the market. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You see all of the major indexes here in negative territory, pretty much evenly spread across the board. The S&P, Dow, and the NASDAQ all down 1.5% in particular. You do see that the Dow is leading the way here as some of the reopened and travel names have been under pressure, although CCL did turn around early on their earnings report. See the TSX down 1%, crude down 4% as demand seems to be waning a little bit amid the Omicron variant concerns, especially over in Europe. You can see Bitcoin and Ethereum still hovering down 1% or so as they're holding some pretty key levels after a relatively weak weekend in the crypto markets. Going on over to the to the major board here, you'll see not a heck of a lot of blue. Now, obviously, blue means green over here on Icon. And one of those, as I mentioned, was going to be Carnival Cruise Lines. You'll do see in consumer services, Las Vegas Sands, Penn down 3%, Caesars down 3%, Wynn down 2.6%. But it is Carnival holding up after a slower than expected burn rate, holding up 3% on the day today. So relative strength in Carnival, and some of the other cruise lines also trying to get some movement back into the upside. You do see shares of Pfizer in the green, up 3%. This with, of course, the Omicron variant concerns weakening the overall market. You had Moderna swinging higher before retracing this morning after releasing some efficacy with regards to their booster shot. Also, if you want to go over to transportation, you have some of the airlines trying to reverse course with AAL bouncing back into positive territory here. Overall, it is still a relatively weak day across the board. Financials have been dinged, as you can see across the board, about 4%. Morgan Stanley down 2%. So almost nothing is being saved. Berkshire down 1.7%, and that had been a place for a lot of people to hide. Relatively speaking, it is a start to a week which has us leading to believe, where is that Santa Claus rally going to come and where are the trading opportunities to be? But there are always going to be places and pockets within the market that we will cover for you to your advantage. Now, obviously, a few names this morning that were moving quite a bit, one of which was somewhat loosely tied, I want to say, to the Spider-Man No Way Home release. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit. I'd love to see that movie. I haven't seen it, but I know there's going to be a fantastic trade review coming from Sean from a usual suspect and one of the best day trading stocks for the last week. Here's Sean.
Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, look. Good segue there. It's going to be AMC. We crushed this name last week. We went short early, and then we was like, no, we got to go long. So that's what we come in today, looking for the long. We hear that it was the biggest box office since the pandemic for that No Way Home on Spider-Man. And then we have Matrix. We have a bunch of things coming through. So we just kind of look quickly back to see what the high was on Friday after that big, huge move. We went from like 23 bucks up to this 30.70. And then just to look at some bases, about a 28. So we come in here today and we're like, you know what? We want to trade AMC, but we don't know where. We got to get in. We got to watch to see what's going to happen. We saw some big moves obviously happen on Friday. So with that being said, it's kind of early and it's kind of easy for me. We come right in and right there, right at 8:30, we take our first position, basically just a 28, 25 or so long. So we're long in the 20s, and what we're doing is we're using this 28 backstop, and I just put a line right there. Some of the pre-market bottoms were 28, so we're like, you know what, let's just use AMC long at this 28 level, good to go. Then we start to get ramped up. The volume starts picking up here as we get more and more closer to the open, and we're like, okay, here we go. And you can see what happens in the open, big, huge volume spikes. Now pretty dead, but the volume comes in the first half hour. So good to note, right? We'll trade AMC like a crazy momentum stock here in the first half hour. And since then, despite the market kind of, moving up and down, testing some highs and testing some lows, you can see AMC kind of doing the same thing here in the early afternoon. So this is the trade. We go long here, 28, and then it just starts to ramp up. You don't see any purples on here. These are all greens. Long all the way up, out. So these are 28, 28.50. The first couple outs here as we start to break upside. We're taking 30, 40, 50 cents. All right, let's see about this little consolidation right here happening between 29, 29.50, right? That's this area. So then as it pops up, we start getting some out in front of 30, Then boom, it breaks 30. We take the 30 long, out, all the way. And then look at this high today. The same high as what we had on Friday, almost to the exact penny. So we have to think about that. This 31 area, definitely some resistance to the upside. Get it all out. Then as it starts to fall back down, this is where we're like, you know what? Let's start to defend certain areas again. But this time we have a much tighter stop. Why? Because we're starting to notice some of the volume trying to tick down again. So as it comes back in, we take again another 29 long and then another 20, so that's 29.25, 29 even. It breaks through and we get out. So that's a 28.75 break. So we lose about 50 cents there. Okay, not bad. Get it back, boom it to the upside again. So remember, this is a 50-cent loss. Then we take a 29 break again long, and look where we start getting out. 29.20, 29.20, all the way up here to 29.40. Then eventually comes back down and breaks, and we haven't touched it since. So lesson of the day here for me, let's use some of these pre-market bottoms of 28, then yesterday's high as an area of concern on the upside. So that's AMC here, just moving around view up right now, 29 and change. Looks like we have the ultimate bottom today. I mean, that would have been nice. And the ultimate high today, and they both happen within the first half hour. So let's keep that in mind. Trade AMC, you got to trade it with vigor early, and then now maybe late as the volume comes back in.
Traded with vigor indeed. That bottom wick was absolutely unbelievable in the pre-market there. It shot up right after that entry point, so almost perfect and perfect top as well there by Sean. Great review as always, and we're going to review our free watch list here. Now, what were the movers in the morning? Why were they there? Make sure you check it out every single day. You can always scan the QR code because it's all about making sure that you're involved in things like an AMC, so that you can take advantage of both the volatility where it happens to lie and then trading opportunities where there are actual eyeballs. And the top name on that list this morning was Rivian. Now, Rivian didn't have any specific news per se. They did report last week, obviously. And it was some disappointment when it comes to production targets that they have hit, and they have limited deliveries. They had recently just won a Truck of the Year award, although Mortar Trend has given Lucid, it's given it to Rivian as well, but down another 7.7% here, guys. Rough one for Rivian. I finally was able to over the lunch break get my trading logged in properly. So I had one trade on Rivian. I just went long in front of that even 90, and then quickly got out at that level. But I know there was a lot of trading opportunities here off of the open. Let's review Rivian, which has been an unbelievable vehicle for day traders.
Let's cover it. Me?
Oh, I could take Rivian. Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the board, and I was like, showing me in these positions. I don't have all those positions. I don't have Alta. I do have Alta, and I have Microsoft, but I don't have Airbnb. I don't have Plug.
So we need to refresh those positions. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not all the positions I have, but I do have two. I've got Microsoft long from this morning, and I picked up some Alta longs as well at 366.59, which is 40 cents in the money, but Alta's so thin though. It's we'll get to it when we get to it, but it is ridiculously thin. Rivian, well, I left it. The reason I left it, because Sean, you actually had this trade.
Yeah.
I actually didn't trade Rivian because you got to pay for the shorts. I did not bother to pay for the shorts, but we were talking about this 93 or 92.50 area. When it broke off or right into the resistance, and then down you go through 89s. Here we are back above 90 though, but that zone is still in play. 95 you could have used as your stop, 93 on the break, 92.5 on the bottom, $2.50 in risk, and one move to the downside. How do you manage it at this point? If it came back through 91, you would have to walk away from this trade. But Rivian was a nice little mover, down 7.5%, 7.78 now. And Brad was talking about, what did he say? 76 was the top end of the initial IPO range. So that's his target. But the fact that we cleared that 106.75, and I think the 106.75 was the big number for so long because that was the initial opening price. The first trade, the first print when this came to market was 106.75. So that was a big number. We've cleared that by quite a bit. So I think going forward, you've got to look at the resistance levels that are up there now. 106.75 is going to be there. 100 is a round marker. That's shown as nice little resistance in the last couple of days. And then from there on out, you've got 105 and into the 106.75. So just be aware that this is one of those things where there's a lot of now overhead on this stock, whether it goes up into the 100s or even gets close to the 100s, you would expect some selling to come in as people are trying to dump some shares. And it hasn't done what it was expected to do, I guess. People were really hoping that this would compete in terms of stock gains, at least towards what Tesla had done and other EV makers. It was hot for a good, 3-4 days, and then it got a little choppy. It fell off, got a little choppy, and here you are down at 90 on Rivian. So any move to the upside, I'll be here for the next 2 weeks trading. Any move to the upside where, depending on the day, if there are free shorts, I will be on the short side of that as long as we don't cross 106.75. If I've got to pay for it, I'm not going to be involved. Sean?
Oh, it's the free short talk again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one, man. I mean, I've learned my lesson there, paying for some shorts and then getting run over on stocks because there's no trade setup and you get excited. It's like FOMO, basically, paying for shorts if you don't see anything. But a good call there on Rivian this morning. And again, it was on the sticky note. Welcome again to the show, guys. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I know all of us are enjoying ourselves today as this market's been it's actually been okay. I mean, those of you that are sitting there looking at your 401ks or some of your investments might not think it's been that bad, but we're only down 1.22 here, which isn't that bad. The same thing sort of on the ES, but we came in today definitely thinking short on Rivian all day, and we did have that 100 level coming back in from Friday. So Rivian right here tested again that 100 level today. That's Friday, and then we didn't get a retest today. So we were hoping that we could retest that and then short it. Instead, we sort of had to begin our short journey a little earlier than we thought. That's the one day. See you one day. We need the today's day up here just to talk about Rivian quickly. So we actually wound up losing on a move back up right there. So we thought we take the initial short there. We get out for about 50 cents. That's a 93.50 break. We get out at 92.80 or so. So I think it was about 70 or 80 cents. Then it comes right back up and we lose and then go long. And this is where the problem is. We defend that bottom one more time. Where is it right in here? Because I just thought this bottom was going to hold. So when we went long here, we were thinking that the travel was back up northbound. But then the market, everything just kept on falling back down. And so does Rivian, long, defend, and out. And then we just start, we got ticked out there, but we start shorting, and then that just starts to pay off. So some of these shorts again here, shorting all the way 91, 92. We do get taken out once it breaks 92, but then like normal, we get right back in, out here, down 90, 90, 80, 90, 84, 91 on the way back. Try to short again, 91.25, get out on a 91.50 break. Then it just comes straight to the downside. We should have understood here that this was another shorting spot, but we didn't. We didn't get short. That was a mistake between 92 and 93. That's an area that we'll look for again. Then it just comes crashing down, and then we finally short. We actually get a short ahead of 90 because of the SSR. So we get short ahead of 90 there, and then it breaks it, and then our first out, 89.50. Our next out, it goes all the way down to 88.50, but then we say, you know what, let's hold this. We thought it was going to go lower than that, but it never happens. And then we get out on an 89 bunch back up. So a few trades here in Rivian, really just short the whole time. We did test our long. That didn't come in. So I think you're right. We'll look to keep shorting Rivian, but we need some pops. Something into this 92 area is something that we'll look for on Rivian.
And we saw on that the quote board there that Pfizer had been up, and there was positive news with the number 2 name on our watch list here, Moderna, this morning. And the booster shot would provide a good level of protection, is what this vaccine maker said, highlighting that the booster dose increased antibody levels against Omicron by 37 times, citing preliminary data. Shares of Moderna were trading up in the pre-market, gapping up as high as 320 before you had the test right at 9:30. It retests the high and then rolls right over. It retakes that 300 level. We're now trading close to those lows. So as usual, it's a bit of a roller coaster here for Moderna, which has been a pretty volatile stock recently, but a pretty good vehicle for day traders to trade in. That 930 pop in failure at 320. What an absolutely gorgeous setup that one would be. But looking at Moderna, do we see anything here? It's got a little bit of a higher low, so it's just trying to find some support at this 280 285 area where there was some consolidation before showing some strength on Friday.
Just because I can get a pretty good read on it. And this morning we were looking for some support here. I was looking at 210 as a stop, somewhere around 225. Maybe we catch a long if it sets up, and then we go for the long. It did not. It did not slow down. It just kept going right through. It went right through 210. At that point, any long read is done. But the aggressive move you're seeing in NVAX, you can also see in Moderna off that 320 level as well. So here we are kind of trying to set something up here. I see that we can still work with about 185 to the downside. That would be down here. So that's something that we can still work with if a long were to set up south of 200. And now to the upside, though, we need some more action. We need some more trading done before we kind of trade in NVAX because the range is so wide. We started at 245. What time were we at? We were at 245 at 8:05 this morning. And then by the time the market opened, we were at 230. And then within, 15 minutes, we're down around 210. That's how aggressive these moves are. So in terms of setting up, all you're going to really have is support levels, major support levels that you can potentially look at. But anything to the upside, get some more trading done. There's 4 days this week. Maybe by Wednesday or so, we should have enough action. Even if this market were to take off, and this stock were to do some pre-market or aftermarket and tomorrow's pre-market trading somewhere around that 220, there could be something we can work with. For now, though, just mark off some support levels like I'm doing on NVAX. See if we can't grab a trade later on. But at some point, there's got to be a trade. The way it's moving, there's going to be an opportunity. Futures have taken off as well. So there's going to be an opportunity. We just got to wait for it.
Yeah, futures starting to go upside here too. Yeah, that's a good look on that one. Yeah, Moderna, I mean, that was the right trade. That 320 pop and then drop. We actually liked the 320 break, but that never really came through. I mean, we liked the 320 break when it was the high. Breaking the pre-market high there doesn't really come into play because it gets to that 322 and a bunch of chaos. And when the market opens up, Moderna's spread is like 70, 80 cents, maybe even $1 at sometimes. So that doesn't really come into play. And then the best trade, of course, was the pre-market break low of that was a good trade to fade it. But, if you believed in the short, you wouldn't have had to hold it too much against you as it just continues to puke to the downside right there. I am interested in that 270 level as a 20-minute chart. We've come in here and sort of defended some of these levels in the past. Sure, we dipped down below as 270 right there, but this is 270. So if you just look the last couple of days, although we did get a big bump up today, obviously on some of that Omicron worries, you can see, we talked about this earlier, NFL, NHL, NBA, movies being canceled, Broadway, things like that, shows here in Toronto, the same type of thing. So 50% capacity at sports. So, a lot of people worried again, at least here it is anyways, a lot of people worried again about the virus, about getting that booster, about everything. So with Moderna still getting talked about, I am surprised that we're down so far, but it was a nice move up. You can see we were just back here at 230, so a $100 move upside, of course it does come back in. So I'm actually looking for Moderna maybe to take this area out now, 288, now that we've built some of this bottoms. We do know that we do have a bottom at 275, so maybe something in that area right around here, 287, 288, I think should be something pretty decent.
Absolutely. Actually, it was going to go on to one name here because you'll see on the position board, I think they're fixing the runes, but Sean's still with a great price in Canopy here, and U.S. listed shares of Canopy growth down. They were down 6% pre-market after Piper Sandler cut to underweight. So obviously they're now down significantly more than that, approaching back towards some recent I guess resistance in the late morning at about 880, but getting past that 10% mark, short sell restricted now, and hitting off of 850. So once again, the cannabis names, in particular Canopy, under some pressure here, Sean. I know you have them still short side. What do you see for this afternoon with Canopy?
I mean, we were just hoping that this 850 would eventually break. It never really did that, and now we're just sort of letting it drift up to the upside here. We still have a small position on from our initial short, and it's the same trade we've had on all day, so we're just kind of trying to hold this one out. I just didn't see any real reason for this to come back to the upside. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear any upgrades or anyone really defending this downgrade here today. So as you can see, CGC down that 10%. It did go SSR, so you're going to see yes there for an SSR, and that means down more than 10% at its lows, and that's what it was. And now you're battling back just a little bit. I mean, I still think, maybe if we break above 877, but to me, that's just another area to short. I'm not super concerned about getting out of this trade. You could see the 20-minute chart's just been all the way to the downside. Today they break through. This is part of the trade there. Break through 870. When we were here earlier this morning, we talked about it, and again, it's on the sticky note, I believe, anyways, for CGC that we were looking. Yeah, there it is right here, that we were looking for some more shorts. So there it is, man. The 9 breakdown on the Piper, that's what it was. Piper Sandler downgrade. There's no catalyst, so let's just see it continue to slide. And that's basically, look at that Palantir bottom at 1780 again, by the way, as that just continues to keep falling. So I just don't see any catalyst to get out of this one. I don't see any reason to. We'll see if the market, it's battled back beautifully here in the afternoon, obviously. And CGC right now just getting ready to get shorted again by me, because this 877 area is maybe a spot where we could get out if there's any worry. But I'm going to go short again one more time. And actually, now that I look at this, I actually kind of like this level against that 877. So we'll take a spot here, 867. I'll probably just hit this guy, take this guy out, something like that, and then go short and hold it against that 8. We have VWAP there, and we have this little level where we first got out at 877. I just don't see why someone would come in and buy this name today. So we're going to go short on CGC and see what happens right here. 880. Let's call it 880. So 880 is going to be my kill spot. Let's get some shorts here on CGC.
Another mover here, Society Pass, just noting this morning, jumps on initiation into the Russell 2000. So shares of this Southeast Asian data-driven company and platform were up significantly in the pre-market, but that would be quite the understatement, as we're trading around $4 or $5 earlier in the session, and then right at 9:30, you had an absolute explosion to the upside. You had 1, 2, 3 halts to the upside before pulling right back into 660. Then that 750 breakout, which we'll get to here in a moment with Sean. There was a double top at 1250 when I was finally able to start trading myself this afternoon. I was short at 1220. I had just taken a nice buck out of it when it stopped out at the high of the day. So I ended up making almost a top wick here as it broke that high at 1250. I did get back in on a 10 break, was able to scalp some out there for about 30 cents, and then got out of that break even. We are right back to $12, so up to almost 250%. Try to keep in mind, when you look at this on the daily chart, guys, this was the stock that got absolutely crushed, trading as high as the 70s and then all the way down to these levels we see here. It was actually trading as low as $4 or $5 all the way from 70. So in perspective, this monster move is really just a fraction of the gap fill that you have seen in the last couple of months, as in November this got absolutely crushed. But I know you had this one to the long side, Sean, after some of those halts and taking advantage of this volatility.
Okay, SOPA, yeah, no, we had this good long, but then unfortunately, right when we went off air there, it does. I said if it breaks below 8, that we wanted to get out there, because that was sort of the halt spot when we first halted at that level. We did get long at 752, breaks back above 8. Our first out is $1, so that's great. That's on the reopen. We take that dollar. That was an absolutely great trade. And I was like, yes, sir, SOPA, let's go. And then all of a sudden, maybe I can zoom in here so you guys can get a little bit of a better feed here. Just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It breaks breaks 8 temporarily, we get out. We actually missed the first out, and as it comes back in, we got out, and then that would have been another area to probably get short there, or sorry, long. But then if you did, you would have lost initially 50 cents, but then it just keeps on going. What happened up here? I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but look at the volume candles here. It fake halted like 2 or 3 times right here. So I kept getting in and out on the fake halt, losing every time, but it was very, very quick. Thinking that, hey, it's gonna halt, it's gonna halt, it's gonna halt again. It kept on fake halting, and since then, it looks like we had one little halt in between there. So it halts again, and then one halt at this level, 12, I guess, 12:15 or so at 12:19 in the afternoon, I guess in the afternoon. And then now, SOPA's come back in, so if we zoom this back out, I don't know, the volume's nicely picking up here. To me, the longs are back here at 10. I don't know, if we take out this level, maybe 12 bucks. I do have SOPA up on another screen, so I don't really want to get involved in this until there's a halt. So once SOPA halts, then I think we can try it for some liquidity. But right now, it's just bouncing around. And again, this is Society Pass. It's a relatively new game changer here for the market. Just came to market. Let's see the daily chart on SOPA, which should be right here, I believe. Yes, it is. So there it is. It just comes out on November 5th or whatever day this was, November 9th, it looks like. To big fanfare, man, big time movements to the upside. Then it just gets killed all the way back down to, like, unbelievable. This stock was 50 bucks. I don't know, a month ago, and then it went down to $4. Like, what did they get, reverse split or something? The answer to that is, of course, no. And then now today, finally starting to get some volume. Like, I don't know how they decide what's going to be included in the Russell. Well, obviously there's ways to figure that out, but like a new name that's been influenced and sort of like manipulated, like this name, gets added to the Russell. So yeah, kind of an easy trade today. Missed this one. Should have been a lot easier than that. We should have been long early and often. All the halts here as soon as the market opens. 1, 2, 3, basically 4 or 5 halts in a row. You could do anything about it, which makes sense now that you see that chart. An unbelievable move to the upside here for SOPA, and should have been something where the writing was on that wall.
And there were some earnings this morning. There was one stock doing earnings this morning. I know we have a couple reporting after market that are of interest, but it was Carnival Cruise Lines that reported this morning, and it actually put in a bit of a recovery there. Obviously, I think the main point, or one of the main points, was their burn rate a little bit lower than anticipated, coming out at, I think, about 500 million. And this was something that was trading to the downside earlier on in the session. Now, of course, the airlines, the casinos, all of the I guess cruise ship names were all gapping down about 2% until the earnings report came out just 10 minutes before we opened up. And then we had a monster reversal here in Carnival, actually up now 3.8%. It did come back into some resistance here on the daily chart around 19.25, and you do actually see that high wick get put in just above that 19.25 mark. It's pulled back in, now retesting 19 on a lower high. So a little bit of sort of relative strength coming through on this earning name in Carnival. I didn't have any trades on it in the afternoon, but worth noting it's put in a double bottom here at 18.50. So Carnival on the move. One of the strongest names we do see in the market here today. What's entail for the rest of the day on Carnival here?
Carnival. It was quite the mover this morning. It was sitting at nice support too. It was just one of those things. I had Boeing. That was my position, or that was the one that I wanted to play with on the move off the open in terms of like travel. And we talked about it this morning in terms of travel in that space. I'd like to go with Boeing. Carnival was a nice little mover here. We're sitting right around that 17, right here, around that 1750 support zone. You could have gone for the long if you had the setup there. I personally chose not to take it, but nice little mover. You see the move. And here we are right into the next resistance. Why did I choose to go with Boeing instead of this? This is why. Because the upside was limited. Yes, I can put up $1, maybe $1. You could have gotten away with, I think, $1.20 or so in risk. Could I have gotten it? Maybe. It would have been $1.20 to get $1.20 in terms of upside. We were somewhat limited, so I kind of chose to go in a different direction with my positions. We're still trying to get the position board fixed for me. The only 2 longs that I have is Alta long at 366.59 and Microsoft from this morning at 320.03. Those are the only 2 trades I've got both out of the money. But those are the only two trades I've got. In terms of CCL, though, limited upside. That's the only reason. There was support down there, yes, but you got to gauge the risk, right? You know it's going to be somewhat of a slow week, slow day. Market was active, so you go for the names that are going to be more likely to go with the volatility. Boeing is more pricier, so you go in that direction. That's what I did. But here around that 1750, there's decent support. And if you look at the daily, actually, let's pull this back here. If you look at the daily, there's actually a decent support down through the bottom, but the upside, the range is wide to the upside, because I would argue that you would have to clear at least 22 before you get rid of any previous sell zones, right? Around 20, there's going to be some selling all the way up to 21, and then you go back up all the way up to 22, 2150, going back to late October and change. There's a lot of resistance up top, and I think when you favor certain stocks over the other, or others, you kind of gauge based on what your upside potential is, right? If it's limited, and you don't want to take everything. If you're limited on the upside, you kind of go with the ones that has more space. And I think for me, this morning was Boeing.
Yeah, I don't know about CCL. I mean, I like to look at Neil just talked about it a little bit, but we don't know. I don't know enough here to really start to jump in. I mean, CCL did have that earnings report. Didn't really get a chance to look at it. Should have probably looked at it after we went off air there. But yeah, that 1850 looks pretty nice. I just, again, whatever you think about Omicron or this or that, it's around and it's affecting, some of the, I don't know, administrative rules and things like that on who can board, who can't board, international flights, things like that. I guess the word I'm really looking for is restrictions. So we do have restrictions on boarding flights, on traveling, on all this. And I mean, as soon as that, kind of goes by the wayside, then I think it's a little safer to look at something like a CCL. But until then, I think you just hold your cards close, wait for some of this to settle down, and then we'll do CCL talk, when it gets going. But I do like some of these bottoms. If you look at a daily chart, CCL around here, 1650. These bottoms have held. So, in a darkest hour, I think CCL can get picked up. Again, if we're lucky enough to get it back to 1650, definitely like those trades, guys.
They are our vehicle to the markets. I'm talking about charts. Everyone is familiar with looking at a chart when they are when discussing stocks, when discussing the futures, when discussing the price movement that traders are always looking to capture and profit from. So here we want to discuss just a little bit about some chart patterns that can help improve your trading strategy. It's all about the most basic or the simple ones that can be applied well here, guys. So just want to come right in and start a little bit about some easy charting patterns that we can all take advantage of. Why don't we start with you, Arun, here and see what is the best or maybe your go-to charting pattern?
I think as traders, there's so many ways to construct a chart. And you can go in so many different directions with what you see, pennants, flags, triangles. I'm sure everyone's done the research. Everyone who's watching has done the research on what the different chart patterns are. But as a new trader, I think what you have to understand is the volume behind the setup that you're looking at. And I think one of the simplest ones that you can actually start with is just a consolidation breakout. Because what that allows you to do is figure out where the volume is, let the chart develop, and then when we get past a certain point or the upper band of that channel, then you know what, we've gotten past where the sellers are willing to sell. Let's go for the long. And I think that's one of the simpler ones. Now, one of the moves that I like to kind of go with here is, now it didn't happen on any of the trades that I took this morning, and I don't want to get into the other complicated things, but this is a setup that I'm seeing right now. On Airbnb, this was a trade that we took this morning. But the way it's setting up around this 158, it is clearly reacting to the sell side resistance at 158. It's been in play for 2 days or so. This has been an area, so we know that they're selling coming in at this price point. So what you are going to keep an eye on is what happens once we get past the highest point north of 158, which seems to be around 158.30 or something like that from yesterday's high. Once we get past it, it means we've gotten past the selling. This would be considered a consolidation breakout. And sideways we go, break through the top, and then you play for the extension. So once you've gotten past what's holding this stock back, you look for the expansion through the top. At that point, you can look back a few days, maybe set some targets. I'd look at 165 as the target or so, just because we've hesitated a little bit. But it's a matter of framing what you're seeing on the chart and referencing it to volume, because at the end of the day, volume is what moves these stocks. Buyers, sellers, they represent volume, whether they're buying a lot of shares, a little bit of shares, all that gets put together, and it dictates where the stock goes. So at the end of the day, what you want to do is when you see your chart, where's the volume at? That's what I'm looking at. And the simplest thing to start with as a new trader is to go, oh, consolidation, that's where the volume is. There's the sellers, there's the buyers. If we get past either end, then you know the sellers have been beaten or the buyers have been beaten, and then you go for the trade in that direction. I think that's the one way to start off easy, not overcomplicate things, and just understanding how volume flows through a certain stock and how the market responds when it gets past a certain point where the volume was resisting or supporting.
So volume, obviously, very, very key. I'm just going to go with, a chart pattern that I just call it basically the morning consolidation break. And you can do that either way. It could break to the downside. I'll hopefully have it. Well, I will have an example for you with Win today, and then to the upside. And then Microsoft's going to be right here on the downside. And what you're basically looking for, and maybe I don't know if I zoom in, I'll just take a little bit of a risk here because we do have that wick. But you could see right now, Microsoft consolidates right off the open. So you take basically in consideration, you knock out the first few candles, and then because, off the open, again, you're going to get consolidation, so that's what we're looking for. So here's the consolidation back and forth with a high of 323 and a bottom here of 321. So it's basically 320.75. Once you get that first break to the downside of one of these levels, that's really what you're looking for. And for me, Microsoft actually happens to break right here at 10:03. It breaks that 320.50 or so, and then it just starts to go to the downside with making some bottoms. And then if you zoom back out, I want to show you this break. When you're taking a pre-market, a morning consolidation break, an open consolidation break, you want to look to the pre-market bottoms here for a possible area to get out of, if not your first part, but maybe extra parts as it goes down, depending on how far it is. But here, Microsoft gives that exact trade. So breaks that pre-market consolidation, the open consolidation, I keep calling it pre-market, open consolidation, then to the downside, stops that pre-market, and then gets that pop right back, that consolidation level again. So I like that initial break, downside, play the momentum to the downside right there. And then I said we go over to Win for one more time. So let's look at Win here. Hopefully the chart will update. Let's just hit that. And here's the same thing to the other side. So here's Win again. Let's draw the lines together. So we leave this out. There's the consolidation high, and there's the bottom. So as you can see, we're consolidating here as we open up, right? Win, bounce, bounce, bounce. Not only that, it's bouncing off of a nice level of $80. So some nice bounces. Then you get the break there at 955. Boom, it breaks it to the open. Your first, so that would be like an 80-50 break or so. That's that high. If you want to take that wick exactly, it's 80-50, right? This wick right there happens at 935. There's the break, and you see the move. It's about $2 to the upside. You may want to, and this is what I mean about Microsoft, you may want to take a little bit out. That's 81, that pre-market high. So I call this a consolidation, early consolidation, then a break one way, right? So there's the break on Win, gets you all the way up to 82.50. That's a nice trade, and your bottom is only 79 and change. So a little bit of a break there, giving you about 50, 60 cents of downside with about $2 of upside. So early consolidation, then the break. You want that initial move, guys. So it's the early consolidation break that I like to look at for charting patterns.
And there you go, a very simplistic and obviously informative look at some charting patterns that you can definitely take advantage of. I love the fact that in your example there, Sean, you're talking about an opening range. So everyone can sit back, relax, and watch the price action before putting on that trade, and you understand very clearly where your risk level is going to be. Another informative look there at charting. It's what we all look at in the markets, and it's something that we always have to improve our read on there. So thank you one more time. And just moving, I mean, you can't stop this thing, right? So SOPA on the move again. While we were just talking about charting, this, which has some bull flags in it, believe it or not, even if you count these after it halted, just broke through the high of the day and then put in what I like to call a fake halt. So it went up above that $13 level, went into that 15-second halt state where it hits that circuit breaker upside mark. It can only either trade lower or enter into a halt state. Instead, it does trade lower, so it has rejected the top and a bit of a fake halt in SOPA, up 275%. And it looks like this is going to be your volume mover. You can see the volume spike that it just put in, the second largest of the day. So once again, SOPA continues to be the runner of the afternoon. It was the runner this morning.
It's been the runner pretty much. That one and the other one you've mentioned off the top, RIOV or ROIV?
ROIV, yeah.
They've been in terms of momentum, that's been the name of the game. If you can find some ones that are actually moving hard and fast, you just step in. This thing has doubled pretty much since the morning. Sean, you had this earlier this morning, and it's still going strong. It has backed off the 13s. I was looking at it, I was like, this could be interesting if we actually break through 12 after putting in that, high north of 13, flushing some, almost making it look like they're going to halt and then bringing it right back down. If they flush down through 12, there could be some traps left up top, some longs that are stuck there. But it doesn't want to back down. It actually wants to trade a little bit more. There's some more buyers that want to play in this area, and I think if we get back above 13, you're going to see this accelerate one more time because it got rid of some initial selling right off that fake, right? So if this were to continue, this is going to be interesting. And this is what you want to find on these slower days, because this allows an opportunity to make some money quickly, because volume only gets worse as the week goes on into a holiday. So these are the names, these are the type of moves that are better off or more suited for this kind of type of market, because they're individual movers. They don't care what the market's doing. They're going to do their own thing, and they've got a ton of volume associated with it. So you just jump in, take your few shares or a few dollars on your shares, and you get out. And you just ride that train all the way up, and then you make your money, you walk away, find something else that moves just like that. That's just the easier way to do it in this kind of environment. And I know that if you caught it early, wow, at least double, 2.5 times your money at that point from 8:30 or 9:30 in the morning. By the time we got to about 11:30, by the time Europe closed. What's that?
Yeah, we just, alarm, we're in. So we just got into SOPA finally there. Nice. I don't have my things on here. Hold on a second. I turned them off to show you guys that Microsoft trade. Here it is. So now we are in SOPA right now, trying to take out 13. I mean, there it is. A nice move upside right there. We'll take it out. Bang! Right there. How you like them apples right there? As we'll go timber. Nope, that didn't work. Now we will go slap shot.
Nope.
Not working. Not going to work. Okay, so animation's not working, but there it is anyways, man. Yes, sir. Damage done right there on SOPA. We take that 1280 break, guys. Bang it up to the upside. That's 1340. That's another one. I'd hit it again, but we can't. So I'll hit the WTF in preparation. Maybe they come up and we get that, but there's a nice little blast. And that's how we trade this name, guys. Play the momentum. Look, 1277 in. Look at that out. 13 and change. SOPA right here. We did the same thing right here. Boom. Out almost instantly. Now let's see if we can hold it. We're drawing lines and we don't mean to. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey, Sean, we've got a super chat from Dominic Famalara. Do you guys have any thoughts on Vero, Venus Concept Company? Back to you.
No, I got 99 problems and Vero ain't one, because right now I'm in something a little hot right here with SOPA still going up. Thank you, Dominic. We will look at that. There it is. Look at that. Look at that flush right back down there, right back into 1250 area. So we initially put our out to get out if it does fail back down near 1230. So if that does come through, there it is. So wow, okay, where it is, there it is. Just as fast as we get in. You talked about that, Arun. This is what's called scalping.
That's a pretty good short, actually.
Yeah, that would have been a fantastic short.
No, now.
Oh, now.
After the
that
rate's
would have been
moving
great.
around.
But yeah, good call on that one. We will look for a short and we will look at Vero. So I just want to I was going to say, my out's going to be 1230. That happened super fast. That was basically just this bottom. So we did get a 1230 even break. So not bad. So in at 1277. Let's just see if we made money. 77 long, right? Out right there at 27. So 50-cent hit, but we got 78s, out 40s. So 50, yeah, we make like 15 cents on that traded total. So too bad that didn't keep going. I was hoping for a halt, guys, off that first move, which is why we held half of that back. But we got clapped there on that last bit. So wow, a big 15-cent win. But hey, that's scalping. I hope that was somewhat exciting. What's up, Neil?
You got to take trades like that. I mean, if it breaks further up to the upside and it does halt, I mean, you're turning that 15 cents into $2, I think, almost easily. So it's almost one of those that you got to have. That Venus concept here, analysts saying that they will post earnings of 12 cents per share. There's a couple of analysts here, Zacks, I don't know, this seems to be the only catalyst I can find here. Anticipation on earnings that they're going to be posting soon. You do see it up 24% here. So VERO making some power moves earlier on in the session. It's kind of consolidating and slowing down a little bit. There is a 50 million float, so it is a bit of a low floater, but this volume has really started to taper off. But we got super chat about it. It made that classic, as you like to say, the wick off top there, just shy of $2, and has been fading ever since. Actually might turn in a bit of a head and shoulders with a potential 170 break if this volume doesn't pick up soon. But VERO seems like the move might be done on that one. But thanks for the super chat as always, Dominic.
Yeah, thanks for the super chat. We finally got the position board working. We had to test some positions, specifically BAC. That was a test position, which I refuse to lose on. I don't care how many shares I have. I refuse to lose on. So I'm trying to get this out. Otherwise, Lucas over there is going to have to owe me some money here. But position board is working. Ignore the BAC position. That's just our test position.
Nice one, Lucas.
Microsoft and Alta, those are the actual positions. Those are the real positions. I am long on both of them. Microsoft, though, the price is off because I had to, again, test some exits, which I repriced. So I got out, got back in at the same price, so Lucas would be happy. Of course, that changed the average price on the Microsoft, but the Microsoft long should be 320.03. That's the average total. Anyways, 2 longs, and here we are waiting on some more positions. We're running out of time here for final hour and 15 minutes. So what does that mean for any new positions? I'm going to start cutting down any criteria. I really do like the idea of SOPA on the short side south of 12. But again, you got to pay for these shorts. That's the issue. Actually, do you have to pay for these shorts?
Yes.
Maybe we can get lucky and put an offer.
Maybe now. Yeah, maybe you can't.
No, you got to pay for shorts. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it was a whopping 13 cents when I did it.
Still, I refuse to do it. But there's a nice little trade on the fail through 12. Okay, fine, I'll do it. On
SOPA? Okay. Here we go. So I'll cover that while Arun gets it. If you are part of our Day Trade the World family, you can get that through Metro. So go into Metro, talk to your trading floor development teammate, and they should be able to help you figure out how to do pay for shorts, or simply go into the Day Trade the World wiki and type in pay for shorts, and just as if it was the internet, it should magically appear how to do that on our platform. So that is that. Okay, just a quick update on CGC. We did get the short, obviously. We were waiting there to get this short. It does come back in. We're taking some profits here in the bottom of the bottom 60s as we get that short. I don't know what happened there, but that must have just been a pending order. So we get another bit of shares. We didn't want that fill. We just wanted that one. But again, remember, we had to cross down, so we get a late fill there. But anyways, still expecting CGC to fall back down. I don't see any catalyst. I don't see any reason why this name should keep going up, but we will get out if it breaks above 880. So just to give an update on that one, we'll average into this. It's really just one average. This is like the same trade. I have the same amount of shares. This is just supposed to be one trade. It's just we missed it on the way down, so we got it on the way back up. So that's why that looks like it is two trades, but meant to be one, so I don't consider this an average down. It's an average down from up here, but we will be averaging into it now at 876 or so, this top. If it does pop in, then we'll use 880 as an area of concern to get out, not a variant of concern, of course.
All right.
What do you got, SOPA going now?
No. So I looked at the pricing on it. First off, I looked at the chat. The chat's like, don't do it, principles. I was like, yeah, I know. But the setup is so good that at some point there's going to be a fallout given how much we moved. But then I looked at the price of the actual short. It's not 13 cents. It's 27 cents. So it's doubled up. I'm not going to do it.
I'll sell it to you for like 23 cents.
No, I'm good. It's too late in the day for that. If it was dirt cheap, I would have done it.
21 cents.
Still not happening. You want to give it to me for a penny? I'll take it for a penny.
I mean, I hope maybe I can still short them, so that's the thing. But
yeah, no, I'm out of the idea. Thank you for the chat for holding me,
because
I said this.
Pennies, Arun?
No, because here
I paid 11 cents.
The chat was right. I told the chat a while ago that if I was so close to doing this, to remind me not to do it, and they were on my case. That made me hesitate, and then I saw the price. I'm like, okay, fine. Everyone's keeping me in check here.
All right,
I'm glad.
Arun,
what's up?
16 cents.
It's still not happening. Lucas still owes me money from that BAC position.
Send that quarter over here, Lucas. No, anyways, we're just playing around. You cannot sell you cannot sell your shorts. So I can't sell. I can sell the shorts I'm wearing, but though they're pants, and you don't want those. So you cannot, just in case you're wondering, we're just joking around. We cannot sell back and forth. So I can't. I've already paid for them under my account, so I can't distribute them over to the man on my right. So okay, I don't really have. Oh, on that note. So you're trying to go short SOPA anyways. I know you didn't.
South of 12.
South of 12. Okay, so if it breaks through 12, that's what I just wanted to get to right here. Because right now SOPA kind of dancing around. It tests that 12 break, like Arun was mentioning there, and doesn't halt, but stops on a dime and then now rips back up here. So, I mean, I'm debating taking a 13. I mean, I will take a 13 long. I mean, I just want to make sure that we catch this one going long here, because if this does break, I mean, I think we got to have something on board. I don't know if it's going to be the right price. Maybe this 12.50 might be something, but a breakthrough right here of 13. We'll just test it again. I think we can give it about $1 worth of room. The past high here is 13.50. So if we can get that, I just kind of want this thing to halt again. That seems to be when it's the most fun to trade. So SOPA will take a 13 break on an even dollar level, and we'll see if that goes. But I am obviously well aware of this 12. So we're sizing accordingly here. Yeah. You don't want your whole day, your whole week, your whole month gone because you went long 13 and then you got out at 12. I mean, this trade could literally, just like this, man, we're celebrating that and all of a sudden we get crushed out on that. So you got to make sure that your trades match. Here we go. It looks like it's going to take out 13 possibly right now. If it does, hopefully we'll get punch long. I'm only crossing up to 13.10, I believe, or so. So 13.10, yeah. So trigger price of 13.02. Punch long limit price of 13.10. So here we go. SOPA looking like it's trying to go one more time, but look at that, having a problem. So you might be right. This could be an absolutely fantastic short. I'm just going to favor the long with still an hour left. Let's see if it gives us one more bump here to the long side. And then CGC, I'm still holding that one, but we got to find a trade. NVIDIA down to 274, not really moving. Let's check out SoFi. We crushed SoFi today early. What a great trade this was early on. We talk about that all the time, man. Most of my trading is going to happen early on. We haven't done anything since, but it did give a nice back to 1450, so possibly something there. Just waiting for Palantir and SOPA to start to move.
Yeah, well, SOPA's still good on the long side until we break 12. Here's the issue with paying for shorts, too. You can't wait until 12 breaks to go pay for shorts because that takes time. So you already have to commit to the shorts before the move even happens. And if SOPA refuses to go through 12, then it's just a waste of money and it decides to keep on going up. At that point, you're not shorting it, right? So it's one of those things where you have to put up the cash before the move even happens. And if you had more time, you could be like, oh, well, at least it has time to get down there. This market can still keep going. Futures, I'm noticing, is back towards 50. It's at 46 right now, has bounced up from that 38 low we put in a few minutes ago. Actually, not even a few minutes. It's like 15 minutes ago. So here we are moving back to the upside on the futures. SOPA refusing to go below 12, at the same time hesitating to go through 13. So thank you, chat, for saving me some money here from committing to this before the move even happens. And in terms of actual positions that I'm holding on to, Microsoft, we've been holding on to Microsoft pretty much from like 11 o'clock or so. As the show was ending, I went into a long, and as soon as I got into the long, Microsoft just dove with the rest of the market that just completely fell off. So the stop was south of 317. It never got there. We've bounced. Here we are, kind of the price is averaged at 1982, but the true price should be around 320 or so. But here we are coming out about 30 cents out on Microsoft. And the other one was Alta. Alta is just razor thin too. I got into this one because we had some support on Alta. We bounced, we got above 365 here, and then I crossed up. We had some support around that area going back to early November and the first couple days of December. So I decided to, you know what, let's go long off of this, put up about a few dollars. Exactly where I'm not gonna say, just because why? I'll show you guys why. I'm long, yes. But this is what Alta looks like on the level 2. It's done 675,000 shares, and the spread is like 50 or 60 cents. So I'll let you guys know after I've done whatever I need to do. So, but just be aware that I am long. And Microsoft actually coming back strong. Is the market going up faster? Yeah, market's accelerating to the upside as well. Now we're at 45.50. Microsoft coming back in, great. Microsoft had some strength, so maybe we get some late extension to the upside. The high since the market has opened from 9:30, not the pre-market trading that has been done on the futures, but the high since 9:30 has been about 45.58.75 or something around that price point. So we are going back towards the 930 highs. And if we get some extension, we have some space to the upside. So maybe a late run to the upside. Neil?
Thank you, Arun. Bio-Delivery Sciences here, BDSI, up 25%. They did get a favorable court ruling upholding the validity of 2 of its patents linked to an FDA-approved painkiller. Belbuca, I believe it is pronounced. Let's see if I got that one right. I don't know if this is free shorts here because I haven't checked myself, Arun, but could be something that you could dig yourself into as it's approaching some pretty key levels in the daily up here at about 350 to 360. So about 20 or 30 cents away from that as it's breaking the high of the day. And I actually just had this thought as I was watching some of these and talking to Ms. V, who as I sit in Brendan's chair, I'm going to be next to Valeria all week. And I was just saying that in addition to trading some Tesla, I really do think that Valeria should start trading some of these faster movers, even these small caps. A lot to be learned from them. So I am going to tell Ms. V that she has to call up this stock and SOPA and start paying attention to them. And then maybe we'll get her intake or input on some of these movers and how she can learn about trading them. But BDSI, another opportunity for you to short and possibly pay for shorts. I don't know if they're free or not. You got to ruin.
They've got to be free. A lot of people here saying that I don't short. I do short. I just don't short the ones that I got to pay for shares. Be aware that there are free shorts. That's where I'll be if I'm shorting something. And then there are hard to get or hard to borrow shares, at which point you have to kind of pay up front to get the shorts. They're not free. So on top of whatever it costs to trade, you got to pay an extra fee to get the shares so you can actually get some shorts on, right? So that's what we're talking about when it comes to shorting and not. I do short. It's just that actually this morning I was short on some names, but it's just one of those things where I just don't pay for the extra fee because I refuse to. Simple as that.
Yep, that makes sense to me. Netflix, another name here. We talked about the pay for short thing. I mean, I think for both of us, it's just a matter of price action, whatever way it goes. We will favor, of course. But okay, so Netflix right now. Let's go to something that's pretty strong today. Up, obviously, that 1.2%. Those of you that have Netflix know how fun it is to Netflix and chill. And I think with lockdown coming up, maybe there's going to be more chill than people are expecting. So let's try to get long Netflix. But like you just mentioned there, I think on, well, not I think, it was on Alta Beauty with the spread. This name is 50 cents, 40 cents now as it starts to open up. So we are going to sit here, see if we can't catch some bids on Netflix into $591.50. I kind of want to play off of that. If that winds up breaking, then we will get out. But I'm just trying to sit here on the bid right now, $593 low, see if we can get something on Netflix in hopes that it does make that other run at least a 594. I mean, that's at least. And then hopefully back up to where the market was trading earlier on today. I don't know about 600, but definitely into this area here, 96 or 97. So we'll see if we can. I mean, I'll tell you right now, we're on this bid. So hopefully we just one swipe down somewhere in here. We could get filled there. So the lowest it goes there, 26, but a little swoosh down on Netflix. We will be into that one. AMC, the trade of the day, but right now it's, I just tried, just to let you know, I am bidding in the 50s, so thinking that AMC could come back down here into this 50 area. Would just rather get long against something, so as we start to take out the high, we could get long 29.90. I mean, that's pretty easy, breaking some of these longs. I mean, you just put in the order and you take it. I just don't know if that's going to be the right trade or not. We've already kicked out right there off of a beautiful rally from 28.50 up to 30 again, and that's where we stopped. So we've already stopped here once, and then that same rally stops at 30 again. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to take this long through here, but right now it actually is sort of setting up for a short. So I'd rather get through this area and punch the long at 30 if that makes any sense. So like this is an example for me where I'd rather be long and just understand why, and then hopefully it makes sense. I'd rather be long 30 than up here 29.90 or so because I need that to break through because we've already seen it resist right there. So we've already seen a resistance on a break right there. That's that wick off. And if you guys want to look, Neil hinted at it a little bit, but that's a nice, I mean, it happens all over the place, but 1, 2, 3 wick, bottom, big time movements up. Wick starts to go back to the downside. Don't really get one there. Get one here, now to the downside, and then trying to get some upside here again, some of these wicks. But again, with AMC, the wicks come often. So we'll see if we can get that into that spot. That's the only thing I'm looking for right now. You're still in Microsoft, so that was an interesting name for me, but you're already in that. TDOC, Walmart. I mean, a lot of stocks trying to get back going. I mean, Walmart's positive on the day, right? So, and again, or is it positive? Yeah, just positive now. So Walmart turns positive right there. Netflix, we start our bid here. Watch out for Walmart. Again, like to take this if it does take out the high. Look for strength in positive names. Netflix right now we're long 593.02. So said we'd sit there. Now let's look to see if we take out some of these bottoms around. This is where I'm interested in. So this is going to be a long hold for me at these levels, 591.50. We'll see. This is going to be $1.50 worth of a hit, which is fine because I think we can try to clear upside. So we get back to VWAP, we'll take a piece out. But for now, let's hold this and average in all the way back down to 591.50 as I'm losing my voice, which might not be a bad thing.
All right, it's been a long day. I see the chat talking about Airbnb. Yeah, we took out 158. This was the level that we kind of have been stalling around all day. Again, when we were doing that little kind of, I guess, instruction on how to look at consolidation breakouts, you want to see how it trades first too, right? You want to see if the buyers are going to be willing to absorb any selling that comes in. Obviously, we cracked up to 158.5, now coming back down a little bit through 158. If there's more buying that's willing to resist the selling that's coming in, you could argue that this is a nice little long. Now, we had this trade early this morning. We had it right here, 152. It dipped into 151 and then took off. And then I kind of trailed this all the way up and just dumped it when it broke 156. So that was a nice $4 winner through the bottom there, or on the run up. But it's kind of limited on what you can do at this point. And the reason I hesitate at this 158 is because, let's take a quick look at the daily here. I'll bring this over. If we were to say break 160, we have about $2 worth of upside. If we were to break 160, you're going to get a ton of action all the way up to 172, at least from the way I'm looking at this. You could argue 170 as well, but I'm going to say 172. There's a ton of action. We're in a nice little area where Airbnb has kind of put in some previous bottoms here. That's going to act as resistance on the way back up. So am I open to the idea of going long on Airbnb? I was down here when we had support. But would I go long now? I'm not sure we have the upside potential to put up the risk that's required to get the long. So that's the only reason I hesitate on these trades. I'd rather kind of go for the short once we enter this kind of zone here, pretty much from 160 all the way into the 168 area. So there's like an 8-point window. At some point, there's going to be a setup in that window where I can just go short, be confident about the risk that I'm taking because the 172 would be the stop, and then see if we can't get a move back to the downside. So for now, I'm just going to hold. I think I'm just going to end the day with the positions that I've got, which is the Microsoft long and the Alta long. The Alta long I've got to be very careful with because once we start running towards the end of the day, Alta is very thin, right? So I got to start working some exits before we even get close to the end of the day. And Sean's got a trade alert for you.
There it is. Whoa, 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 $1.50 in the money right now. So we'll go, yes, sir. We ring the register. That's not the register. That is a Wheel of Fortune. And I'm going to tell you, no surprise, this is going to come up jackpot, not bankrupt, right there as it goes up. That's a very, very... That's not a very good animation, is it, guys? As it stops there and goes right away, but there it is. Nicely done here for me anyways on this as it starts to break up. There's that 53.03 bid, right? 954, sorry. No, 953. So we got out there, you're right. So it's a dollar higher now. So there it is, 953 bid. We just took some out at, 553, 593 bid. And we get it out at 594 right there. So that's $1. Now we'll hold as it starts to go higher and higher and higher. Right now, $1.50 in the money. Plus on Netflix now. And we said if the market wants to keep going up here, which it looks like it's trying to do, then we want to be on a name that's strong. So that's Netflix, now $1.80 or so in the money. It depends if you take the bid or the ask. Hopefully, it can continue to run upside here. That's Netflix, 1 for 1 here on that trade so far. We'll see where it goes as my eyes looking for others. We went right away over to Netflix, man. So that's going to be a good trade. What about NIO? NIO making recent lows here. Again, NY. It's just 3 o'clock now. So we are into the power hour as, nope, come on. I've hit this multiple times now, .NY. So here we go. Let's see where it goes now. As just a quick look here, Ethereum starting to go upside as well right now. Just a quick look, refresh this. 3,800, so a nice little bottom. This has been Ethereum for the day. We did make that bottom at 3,750 right as the market opened at 9 o'clock. Now you're starting to run to the upside. This is December 20th. That's the right day. Yep. Now upside here. So a nice move pretty much all day for Ethereum to the upside, and Bitcoin as well. A very, very similar move.
AMC just broke 30.
For BTC as AMC breaks 30, and I'm not long. So, okay, yeah, we were waiting for an AMC break of 30. We didn't trigger long there, so I'll have to find out why. But there it is. AMC breaks 30. We did talk about that. So let's see what happens now. AMC retesting some of those 30 highs, but I didn't get long, so I'll have to find out what happened there.
All right, going back to SOPA, I'm going to talk about it just because in my head I'm kind of paper trading this. Short south of 12, but depending on obviously how it trades, instant rejection makes me think, okay, we're not done just yet. I want to see how much more selling or if there's any buyers left on the move back down. If there is, then obviously you kind of scratch that trade. But if a secondary move down below 12 kind of holds well, then I think at that point the short would be in play. But for now, though, this is not exactly the ideal situation for any shorts. No longs, no shorts. It's just one of those things in my head. I'm just like, I wouldn't have gone short just yet, but I still like to know whether I would have been right or wrong, even if I don't take the trade. But I'm just going to ride these two trades that I've got, Microsoft and Alta. I see you guys talking about SEAC, so I'll kind of put that up there. Let's see what we got here. NASDAQ 188. It's near its highs, I guess. Yeah, it's up 21% on the day, popped recently from 80 cents. Wow. Okay, that would explain why everyone was talking about SEAC for a little bit there. Quite the move. $1.50. Oh, that's right. That's in the last few days. Today has been $1.50 to $1.80. Still a decent move. What'd you say? Okay. Randy's always in here chirping. I thought he was saying something about the actual company, which would be Sea Change International. But here we go, 20% move. What do we have in terms of daily? We're getting towards that 210 area. That could provide some resistance. So here we are. I don't know. This could be a nice little support long south of 160. You see the action we were getting in the last few days. It is accelerating to the upside, but how do you even chase this? At this point, with 10 cents left before we hit the 2 even mark, I don't know if you can step into a trade today. You may actually have to put this on a list and mark it off for another day as the market accelerates to the upside. We're kind of too far to make a trade on it today, but we're not too far for a setup as long as we take out the 215, which is the high from April. So if we take that out, there could be a nice little move here. I think the window was the 150 long with like a 1 even stop. So 50 cents earlier in the day today or the last few days. Here we are at 192.5. You see the volume, 45, almost 46 million shares as we approach 2 even. Quite the mover. I'm definitely going to add this. Let me go ahead and add this to my list of stocks. Thank you guys for putting that in the chat because we finally caught it. Or I finally saw it. I saw it so often. I'm like, you know what? I got to see what this is all about. And here we are, setting up a trade for another day.
Yeah, did we just take this Netflix trade? Not sure. We're now $2 plus in the money on Netflix. And looking at some levels like $5.98 or so on that trade. I mean, here it is right here, just starting to break upside, breaking through. Got to give this one some room to breathe. We already took a $1 win on the first bit, and now we'll wait to see if we can get back up here to $5.96, $97, $98. Like, I really think that we could test upside. So let's wait to see on that one. We'll leave it alone. It is a $2 winner. Just want to bring that to everyone's attention. If you want to take it, take it. We are above VWAP right here. If you're not super excited about where the market's going, this might not be a horrible spot right now. What's up, Ms. V? To take that out. So we'll look at that right now. And then we did get in. So new position alert. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully we can put some chicken dinner winners on the board today. As I already know, my wife's making a butternut squash, the spaghetti. You know, you know what I'm talking about. Buffalo chicken. So it's really it's not too spicy, but it's really good, man. Okay. So instead of using, you know, I know Italian, but instead of using the pasta you use the spaghetti squash, and it is like, ooh wee. What's up, Martha?
I know I'm supposed to come in for stock-related news here. This Treehouse Foods that you guys see spiking, or people in the chat saw spiking, no news that I can find, but I just have to ask you, Sean. So you're talking about like buffalo chicken on top of
it's like a casserole type of thing.
Mixed in like a casserole. Oh my goodness. I love buffalo chicken, and butternut squash is definitely a tasty treat. But this this THS, look, we're going to talk about this only because there was a monster spike, volume spike from $40 to $43, and right back into 40. I could find no news whatsoever on this particular name. It is now on the watch after a volume spike like that. It went from doing no shares to a few 100,000 in a second, and looks like it came right back in on absolutely nothing. So movement there, but not as tasty as that casserole does sound. I really hope I'm having something as delicious for some Monday afternoon and night football tonight.
That's a nice contrasting flavor, actually. Butternut squash with some spicy chicken. It's nice, sweet. You get a nice little sweet, and then you get a little bit of heat there on from the buffalo side of things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lunch wasn't big
Your
enough,
man
by
is
the way.
spoiled, as you can tell, man. Like, we don't miss meals, and that was it's a good one, man. It's one of my favorites. So shout out to Marissa, just killing it 24/7 on that front. Yeah, I don't know. This AMC position, I would love to grab this position into the long side. So we are obviously long, but I did just take a third out there on that break. I don't know what to expect here. This AMC trade looks a little bit, someone said, hey, my man, that looks a little bit sketched there. So yeah, so not sketchers, but sketchy right now. So we'll wait to see what this wants to do. But for me, I don't know. This looks like a possible trap a little bit up high here. So we did get out of a little bit. It's not going to be a huge position right now, but somewhat worried about this. Just not overly, but you know, 29.80. I don't want this to dip that too much below this 29.40. So let's hold our cards tight a little bit here. But we are thinking about getting out. We just did get out a piece. It's not a big trade. Would rather it break solidly back to the above. And plus we have the imbalances coming out in 40. So what's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, just 50 minutes left until the end of this trading day, and I ask you to help us to get more likes. We have more than 2,600 people watching and only not even 400 likes. So I know you're busy trading and it's a busy day, but please find a second and smash the like button. It's absolutely free for you and means so much to us, your support. Back to you guys.
All right, I'm starting to work my way out
them
of
likes.
Alta. Alta's starting to move, but at this point, I also realize that I'm running out of time, so I'm starting to work my way out of Alta here. It'll be like a 40-cent winner or so from the position that I've got here. I had like what 3 shows there, 366.59. I'm getting out some in front of 367 here quietly because you know, Alta looks like, where is it? Because that's what Alta looks like. 30-cent spread with 700,000 done on the day. So yeah, do it quietly when you need to. Microsoft, on the other hand, market's
I feel like that's a
moving.
little hint to the wife there, the Ulta Beauty. Like maybe you were shopping there.
I mean,
All right. We don't want to say
okay,
nothing.
so
Let's
here
not say
we have
anything.
Sephora.
Right.
And I will say, Sephora has like different tier statuses from what I understand about how much, based on how much shopping you do. It's like almost like a rewards program, right?
I'd rather not discuss this. Yeah.
Yeah. She's
We're at the highest tier. Yeah.
Yeah,
go on.
she's exactly. She's at the highest tier. She's been at the highest tier for a very long time. So she does her shopping here at Sephora quite often. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's not cheap.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I've seen the. Yep. Okay. So you and I are more alike than many know. There, my friend. So yeah, Sephora, no friend of mine, but friend of the wife. So that's good. But there actually, she gets me this face cream. You know, might wonder why I have like a baby face.
What is that?
I don't. She gets me this.
Oh,
this
I believe you
cream.
because you got
Yeah,
a nice little.
and you have a very nice complexion too, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, good. But no, there's it's Kiehl's, and it's a really nice.
Oh yeah, no. There's
Face
a hand cream. Yeah, she orders a hand cream.
There you go. Yeah. So it's all about that. But there we go. So Arun and our bromance is now over, so we can begin to go back to trading. As right now, there it is, man. Hit the home runs. Baseball, whoopsies. You might want to clear that up there, as we have errors all over the place. Error. Flush down the graph. That's not working. Okay, flush down the graphics guy. Graphics not working right now. Okay, so there it is. Error there. Yeah, Kiehl's is amazing, man. Thank you for that one as well, guys, that talk. But here goes AMC. This is my bad for hitting that, guys. But honestly, like, I don't know which ones work and which ones don't. I thought the home run worked. But there it is, Netflix right now. We are lining it up. We are hitting a home run right now, up to $5.96. There goes Netflix. This is a $2 winner plus right now, $2.50 in the money. NFLX starting to go up. This is what we like. We're seeing the market starting to take out some highs. I'm honestly, man, this 597 looks pretty juicy to me right into this area. So I think if we could sit somewhere around here, maybe we get blasted to the upside and we'll be able to take this out. So 250 right now, it's working. I'm going to sit around here. 597.50 or so. We can get something out right around here. I'll be a happy camper. So I like that trade right now. AMC starting to fall back down. We are bidding. I just want to tell you, we're bidding in the 60s. I told you that this one's going to be a possible slippery slope down here into the 40s. So we'll bid in the 60s. Thanks for the warning, guys. We did get out of the way a little bit, but we're trying to hold. Just let me know if I can hit them again. I guess we won't. Let's not do it the rest of the day, okay, Arun? Let's not hit these because it looks like it is causing some problems. But we will watch AMC. We're going to get long in the 60s, and we'll try not to hit those, Lucas. My bad on that one.
Animations.
Well, we've got to get our position board back up because that's down 2 now, right? So
what are animations? I haven't hit one all day yet.
well, you have your Pew. I don't know if
I have my Pew, but I should have done that for the Airbnb trade, which now we can't hit animations, so I can't even do that anymore. So Airbnb was my best winner. We just dumped some Alta. We actually dumped all of it. You can see here, I don't know why it went purple because that was a sell order, the second one. So as it ran up, I just decided to get it out. I was like, we'll take the 40 cents, walk away. So here we are completely out of Alta, and it's still going. But the issue with Alta is that in the event that it's decided it didn't want to go, I would be running out of time to get shares out with no volume left. So walk away from this before the imbalances catch the stock and decide to run it in the opposite direction. So we kind of took that shot, didn't go too far, didn't get enough of a move, but 40 cents is 40 cents. That's good. Microsoft falling back, are the futures falling back? Yes, they are. So Microsoft refusing to get back above 320. That's where our average price, forget what the screen says. Actually, the screen doesn't say anything more. But the average price should be north of 320. 320.03 is the actual average price. So we're still waiting for Microsoft to get going. Futures refusing to stay above this 45.50 area, which is right here, which would be pretty much the highest point. Like we were above there for about 10, 15 minutes just before the open, and then we haven't been staying above there since that point. So here we are, kind of hesitating north of 45.50 once again. So I guess this is one of those days where it sets up a trade. At some point this week, there's got to be a trade. You would hope there's got to be a trade that I can actually make on these futures. We know the window, right? I'll go through it again tomorrow because it's going to be the same window. It's going to be that 45.20 going on down to 44.90, and then it's going to be the short window 45.90 going up to about 46, 25-ish or so. And as I say, this Alta is actually running now, so I could have made another $1 on this trade if I had just waited a little bit longer.
Hey, great trade regardless. And Arun and I, the bromance continues because Pixel 6.
Oh, yes.
And Arun's Pixel 6. So there it is right there. Finally, welcome to the world of technology, my friend. It is a nice place. You can now download Google Maps. So, you know.
Hey, BlackBerry Maps was doing just fine for me. So for anyone who's out of the loop, I had a BlackBerry Passport for the longest time. I just had to get rid of it because I got a notification saying that BlackBerry 10 OS, the last operating system that BlackBerry made, will no longer be supported as of next year. So their servers are coming down. That means my phone becomes a brick at the beginning of next year. So I had to go ahead and get a new phone. I chose to get the Pixel 6 Pro. That's what I got here, right here. So now I'm caught up with technology. I've got access to apps. I can do Google searches without having to wait a little bit longer.
Amazing.
I have my own Chrome browser instead of having the BlackBerry browser.
This is amazing, man.
And now, but the one thing I will say that I missed though is the hub. The BlackBerry hub was a huge thing that makes so much easier to centralize everything. And Neil, I'm sure you can speak about the hub because you have the later version of the BlackBerry, which is still available for use, which is, you have the Key 2, which I'm waiting for the new one. I don't know about you. I know you like the new one as well, the one that's supposed to come out at some point in the next few months. But yeah, Neil?
Oddly enough, shares of BlackBerry getting off of lows and breaking back above VWAP, retesting. I'm not making this up. Retesting morning highs here. Oddly enough, all those features that you talked about there have been available on Android phones, which have been running the BlackBerry. You get your keyboard, you get the hub, but they are Android phones, and they've had multiple versions of those for at least the last half decade. So everything you just talked about, you could have had that and your keyboard and the hub for years now, but I might go to the Pixel myself at some point, but I'm a diehard, at least for now. Interesting. I mean, I randomly did check BlackBerry, and it's trying to make a bit of a move back upside. Just keep noting that SOPA is still doing tremendous volume here as it just tried to retrace back towards VWAP. I'll just load it up for you, and stalled out at about $11. So it looks like that 13 failed break could get retested. What a strong stock that's been up 250%. Strong like a bull. I was looking to short it myself here if it got back up to 13 one more time, but we are running out the clock on that move with only 40 minutes left in the session.
All right. Yeah. So I put an out here, to be honest with you, and I canceled it. And we would have got filled at 595.70 for this name. Obviously, this is Netflix we're talking about here. As the market just ran right back to basically session highs. I mean, we're going to look at, we are back to sort of, oopsies, this is the NASDAQ. We're sort of back to where we opened. You can see the NASDAQ opened up down here, and then we're right back to these highs again. So NASDAQ with a nice little run there. Debated and probably should have. We have $2.50 in the money right now on Netflix. But again, I don't know. Let's just wait to see if we do take it out. It's very, very close. Up at 296.5 or so. If we can grab that, we will do that right now on Netflix. So about another 50 cents or so upside should get us out on that name. AMC. So this continues to happen. I guess we just shouldn't say this anymore. I was sitting there at 60. It went down to 65 and stopped. So we'll see. Maybe might up this order to a little bit higher into the 70s or so, but we are sitting here. I don't really want to be part of that wick and then filling it down. So maybe we'll sit somewhere around 80 and just lower our shares, take an 80 bid. That way, if it does rip back up to the upside, we do have an opportunity to get out. So that's going to be AMC right now. We're waiting at 60 and we miss it by 5 whole cents. So that's that trade. CGC. So all right, so I guess it's not breaking 80 right now. 80 is the breaking spot for us. That was where, now that we zoom in, we could see that VWAP is now at 78, but we were playing it off 80 anyways. So it's going to be a fine trade for us today, CGC. There's no doubt about that, but we averaged into it as the market now starting to go higher. So CGC, I guess, if it just wants to drift higher, that's what it's going to do. We thought that we would fade this name. It looks like it's getting very, very close to getting us knocked out, but a break of 80, just let me just double check that. Yeah, 81. So if we get an 81 print, then they'll stop hunt us and get us out there, but whatever. I mean, it's not a huge position. I don't think we'll get stop hunted on this trade, but if it does come out, that's where we're looking at. So 81 for CGC, AMC flat on that trade, and then Netflix now $3. Okay, this is starting to get now, it's a little bit spicy. So Netflix $3 now in the money and starting to go higher. So let's see if we get out above 296, 596 here for Netflix. That's going to be a good out. But I mean, realistically, I'm waiting in the 40s for this. So one more bump up and we should get it. But I just don't want to be too am I going to give up a $3 winner just to make an extra 40 cents? Yes. So we'll wait for that one and see if, I don't know if it makes sense, but we'll see if it comes upside. That's sort of what we've drawn. So we'll put that line in the sand right here, 596.40 or so. Hopefully we get that print and we can celebrate a $3.50 win here on NFLX.
Yeah, as you're talking about Netflix taking off, Microsoft also starting to go now. That's turned into what should be, it's 58 cents in the money, but it should actually be like a 35-cent winner because the price should be 320 and change. That's where the long should be. It's just we've had some issues there. Okay, and why? Futures taking off to the upside towards the top end of the range. As long as we can maintain this strength, this late day strength, there's obviously a ton of resistance up here into the 60s and whatnot. If we can maintain the late day strength, then you're going to see this market, all the names associated with the indexes. You're probably going to see Apple, you're going to see Facebook, you're going to see the bigger names, big tech names that have the large weights in these indexes start moving up, right? So here we are moving towards the top end of the range. The only thing that will concern me is at what point does the volume drop off? And if the volume drops off as we're at the top end of the range, this market's coming right back towards these 45, 50. So that's one of those things where just because we're going up right now, I don't want to get too excited with. As I say that, here comes Microsoft failing just south of 320.50. You know what? Maybe it's time to get out of Microsoft. We'll walk away from Microsoft, see if I can cut this trade soon. So, hey, Alta, great timing on the Alta exit. This is what I worry about when I trade these thin names, is that if I run out of time and volume starts to dry up, we get a move like this, and then I have a hard time getting out. So we got out of Alta with a 40-cent winner, and Alta has fallen off here south of 366. So we're walking away from that. Airbnb is stalling out. Airbnb is stalling out around 158. And the other name that I looked at, I just noticed, is Facebook. There was an alert here on Facebook. Why was there an alert on Facebook? 326 break? Let me figure this out while we go over to Neil.
Rush there, but I did note, and there was someone in the chat that asked a question of Sean there when he said stop hunted. What is stop hunting? And certainly maybe something we'll talk about later in the week, a trading terminology that we will use. But I did want to quickly just sort of go over what I think a lot of you might understand is when you have obvious price levels. I'm just going to show SOPA because I got stopped out at the high, what was the high of the day a little bit earlier on in the session. When you have a big move like this from $4 all the way up to what was the high here at $12.50, it puts in that top, makes a nice retracement, and comes up and retests the high of the day. A lot of times, you will have algorithms, larger traders understand that even if, let's say, even if they wanted to short the stock, if it breaks that $12.50, that new fresh high of the day, it will trigger a lot of stop orders. People that are shorting in front of that level will get stopped out at such an obvious level as that high of the day. People that want to go long will have stop orders at that high of the day. So if a large trader can push the price above that $12.50, it will trigger multiple stop orders and then cause a little bit of price action to the upside. If they wanted to then short at a better price, they could then do so, having relieved the pressure. They've trapped longs in that kind of a position. Other shorts have been stopped out at that price. And because the level is rather obvious here on the 1, 3, or 5 minute chart, being that high of the day, that's what we mean by stop hunted. So it's a term that you'll hear an experienced traders such as Sean or myself or Arun sort of say over and over again, but that's the definition of stop hunting. Algos and large order flow, you can't really get away from them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The psychology behind the stop hunting is that you get enough, say people are short in front of a round number, and people also want to go long if the round number breaks. If you break the round number, you know everyone is piling into the buy side, pushing the price past where it really should be. It gets to an extreme point, you fade it, and then you kind of, if you have enough weight behind your shares, you can bring it right back, and then everyone who either went long or got out of the short realizes, you know what, I need to get back in, and then you pile in. Longs are trying to get out, shorts are trying to re-enter, and then you kind of just play that game with the psychology of the other participants. At the end of the day, trading is playing psychology or psychological games against each other at the end of the day. If you're large enough and you can move a stock well enough, then you can do that all on your own. Obviously, trades that are obviously easy, I think SOPA was probably one of them, that 13 number. Everyone was looking at 13 as a round number because we kind of hesitated earlier. What happens when we broke above 13? We spun right back around. I mean, that's, if you have the weight to kind of bring the stock back down and get enough people to panic, you're going to get it down to 12, and that's exactly what happened on SOPA. So it's more than just that, but that's, I think, the simplest explanation or the example that you can use is that you get the price you get the price pushed past an extreme point, at which point you can come back in and kind of flip people around and get them to panic. And at the end of the day, if you get people to panic, you're going to get the stock going the way you want it to if you're large enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for clarifying all of that terminology and then real-time examples right there. Anyways, Netflix, just waiting. I mean, we'll have to wait to see. I did obviously consider the fact that we only have, but still 25 minutes until the imbalances. So I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm scared of these imbalances, but we'll wait. 596, if we can get out there. It's topped out a couple times. Like I said, waiting for 596.50, really, let's just get it out. So we said we would wait, bounced around, didn't give it to us. We're still in the money, $1.50 on this trade, but we'll just see where it's going to go now. I mean, I was debating getting this out, guys, honestly, right here at VWAP on this break, so may do that still, 594 break here. But I'm trying to see about a higher trade here on this. But again, with the futures coming back in here, it could be a dangerous one. AMC now back into the money. So we took, what was that? For a third of our trade, we took out, honestly, like this was crazy to do this, but 8-cent hit. Like, I don't even know why I did that. We were just getting nervous there. Someone in the chat was like, oh, that might be a problem. And then I looked and was like, yeah, maybe it is. So right now we'll put an offer a little bit higher in the 20s, even maybe in the 30s here for AMC. We'll see if this one wants to run to the high side now for AMC. So this is a concern of mine now. But again, it's one of the stocks that's in the money for me, so not super concerned. Let's see if AMC wants to continue to make that move upside. We're in the 30s waiting to get out. That's going to be AMC. Just a quick check here. Some of the crypto currencies starting to move a little bit here. We'll see if we can refresh this. I don't know if this is live. It must be. Ethereum in the past 24 hours, only down that 0.2, only down now 5% over the last 7 days. That's Ethereum. Bitcoin 47 right now. Hope you can see this. Binance Coin, just ranking the top ones here as you go. This is just a ranking. So all these names coming back in. Who cares about Tether? But there's Binance Coin coming in. Solana as well. Nice move there. I don't know what some of the, well, Terra. I mean, I'm in Cardano. As you guys know, 125. Been buying at these levels. Would rather it drop to $1 to buy. But hey, you don't want to miss the boat. So some of these cryptocurrencies starting to go back upside. There's Shiba Inu at the bottom, number 13. Dogecoin and Shiba Inu just bouncing back and forth now between value on the top list, both now 12 and 13. And there's Matic, another name that I really like on the downside. I've been buying some of these dips as well. So those are the cryptocurrency. You can look at GBTC, Ethereum. HUT 8 is a name that I like here. As you can see, it's HUT on the NASDAQ. HUT 8. HUT just on the Toronto, same symbol over here. This was down today though, HUT was down. I believe the crypto overall is a space probably down. HUT down 2.4% right now, but a nice move back upside right there. See if we take out 780. This is a name I like when and if the crypto starts running. You can go over to HUT, but right now it's not a big day for crypto. So that's one other name. And then SOPA looks like it's trying to break right now, break it back above 13 again. That's still HUT's chart, but there's SOPA. Look, keeps on resisting this 13 level. So we'll see. If we get a break there, we'll test it one more time for a long side, but has to break 13 for us to get in, guys.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. As the market kind of gravitates right back towards 45, 50, there's not a whole lot to do in terms of how do you play this market. There really isn't a much to do. I don't think, if you're going to get this kind of volume and trading on a Monday where the market's down just over 1%. ES is down 1.33, NASDAQ 1.17. If this is the kind of trading we're getting on Monday, I can only imagine how dead and boring it's going to be for the next few days. But individual movers, that's a different story. You're seeing the big movers that we're seeing SOPA go. We were talking about that SEAC as well. So that's another name that could be in play tomorrow that we can keep an eye on. I've dumped my Microsoft position, by the way, at 83 or so. So we walked away from the entry price. It was like a penny in the money, but it's from the actual true price. It was about 20 cents or so. So I'm done. As of right now, I'm completely flat. Biggest winner is Airbnb and Zoom, or two biggest winners, Airbnb and Zoom. Biggest loser is Boeing from this morning and PayPal as well. So here we are kind of waiting for this market to close out. Maybe we find something before the end of the day on the future side of things. But for now, we're just going to sit here and wait it out. Neil?
Yeah, speaking of finding some movers here, I just want to get to this. Come on, Icon, give it to me. Here we go, Heartbeam Inc. Look, Benchmark initiates a coverage with a speculative buy rating of $9 price target. So once again, you have another name which is moving heavily on simply an upgrade, up 23%. It just made the high of the day on a decent volume spike there. And I just feel like, as you mentioned, with it being a holiday shortened week, obviously, the market, while down, you haven't had these crazy moves and volume is going to be down. You got to look for these movers and you put some of these onto your radar and keep them there. You've seen what's happened with SOPA throughout the entire day, SEAC moving throughout the entire day. So when I see something like this beat start to pick up in the afternoon, breaking out highs and doing volume just as big and even if not even bigger than earlier in the session at lunchtime with a couple of spikes, you might want to have these on your radar going into tomorrow and the rest of the week, because this could be the theme for what us day traders should be trading here. So hopefully you can beat the trend and remain at the high of the day here.
All right. I was looking at that SEAC there for a 210 break, but again. Oh, it's coming up here right now. So decent volume on this name. You can see it's just starting to pick up, breaking through basically the past high of the day. So we break through the high of the day and we run about 30 cents. So could it happen again at $2? We'll see. The high of the day really is 211 right there. For me, I'd rather, obviously, we talked about SOPA. I've been in that name much more. I haven't even been in SEAC today. Of course, Sea Change International starting to go. SOPA is nowhere near that 13 right now, so that's going to be left for dead for now. Anyways, for me, we'll see if it can short it back to the upside. But you see the market falling back down. So like I said, we should have took that out again there on Netflix, but we don't. So right now we have to wait for it. I don't know. We may just get this out. It was a good winner for us. It's cracked back down now into some of these levels. What is that? 290. Yeah, 293 basically flat there. Where we're in is a level of concern. So we'll take one more shot here, see if the market does rebound. And then if we break back down below like this 592 area, then we will lose on Netflix. So I think this is well worth one more shot here. Who knows if it's going to pay off? We were way too greedy on the upside. We took $1 within the first like 2 minutes, and then we could have had $3, and we didn't take that. So yeah, pie in our face a little bit. But let's get one more spot here on Netflix as there it goes breaking back down below. So I think this is a good spot for us. We'll take it now, 592.50. I mean, I like this trade. I like this trade into here. Just we should have got it out. So now it's starting to crack back down below. You see the futures messing around here. We'll see if futures can find some balance here at 15,560 or so. But for right now, let's dip our last shares in here for Netflix. Already took $1 winner. It's now out of the money 50 cents. So let's try to push in a little bit more here on NFLX.
Yep, I'm just watching as the futures. I was curious what the futures were going to do around these 450s. Now we're failing. Remember, we talked about it being near the day highs, or not even the day highs, like the high from when it was around 9:30. Around here, this is where we're flirting since the European Open here, around this 55, 60 area. We got up there, failed one more time. That's a great location short if you have a stop location. The problem is I don't have any stops that I can work with. Where do I put my stop? If I were to go short south of 60, I have no clue where I can put my stop. At some point, that's the thing with trading, right? At some point, you have to mark off an area or a level that you're like, you know what? That read was wrong. I would do that before you even get into the trade. All my trades, I already know where the stop should be because if it gets to that point, I know the read was off. So it's just one of those things where if we can get to a location where I can find a trade like that, I would love to kind of step in, but I have nowhere to put the stop. So I kind of just walked away from this potential shorting or fading of this move to the upside. But I'm looking at this going, okay, what can we set up for the next few days, or at least until this week is over? I know I've got that bottom end level around 44.90. I know I can find some support longs south of 45.20. But the question is, are we going to have the volume to support the move to the upside? Because the market is pretty aggressive today. It's down like 200 points or so on the NASDAQ side of things. So with the volume dying off, I don't know. We'll see what these imbalances are going to come out with. We're going to put some, where is it? It's right here. Okay, let me move this up here. We're going to get some imbalance information in about 15 minutes or so. And when we get that, we're kind of get an understanding of how the market's going to react to this kind of a day. If the imbalances are small and the market's down big, then at that point you can tell that there's not a whole lot of interest at the end of the day or even on the closes as we go into a holiday shortened weekend. Just be aware that Friday, Christmas Eve, is completely closed, right? There used to be a half day, but because of the way that things are setting up this year, Friday is completely off. So here we are finishing the week on a Thursday. And I would imagine if we're not going to get imbalances on a big day like today, imbalances are going to be small throughout the week. So maybe a holiday shortened week and a holiday lower holiday volume as well. We have entered that period where if you made the money at the beginning of the month, you were good. At this point, you may have to wait until maybe mid next week until volume picks back up again as we head into the end of the year.
Yeah, I could show you. We don't show broker statements, but there's no more true than that. I mean, right now we're just kind of push around. Low volume for me, like these are not heavy positions. We're just trying to find out, good stock with good setups that we like. So right now Netflix into this 590. I mean, my stop is going to be 591.50. So if we can break basically this little level right there on Netflix, then we'll get out. So right through here, we'll get out. We already took the dollar, faded in. We got a little greedy there on the top side, but of course, now the market's come in, so we'll take it one more shot right now on that name. And then here we go. We said we were waiting at 60 before, which we were, and then so we just upped it to 70. So we got filled at 71 there on AMC, now giving us an average price of 87. So if it does break back down below these areas right here, then that's where we're going to be concerned about at 29.40 or so on AMC is going to be our stop. So we'll wait to see. Hey, comes through. If not, that's going to be a loser for us on that one. But Pfizer spiking on Omicron. Okay, we'll go over there. Someone said Facebook is printing. I think it was you, Jake. I like Facebook. Meta is a name that I'm trying to load up on. I've been recently buying. I've only bought a few names on this dip, man. Meta, which is Facebook. I've been buying some Nvidia on this dip, and I've been buying some Win as well here. And my last Facebook buy was at 311 or 301. I can't remember. It's not for scalp. It's for longer term. So the prices are irrelevant. But here on the 1 minute, we are bouncing off of some of these areas here, 324. So if there was a little more time in the day and we weren't running up into possible imbalance issues, I do like this. Maybe even a break of 325 isn't a horrible right now. But I mean, do I really want to be long all of these? Look at this, 325. Wow. Yeah, this does look like a good level right there. 325, 326 for Facebook. What's the high today? 333. Yeah, so we were way up. This is just a recent, yeah, so that was off the open. Yeah. 333, no, that's not right. Either way, 329 or so. So a nice move, but a 325 break here on Facebook isn't horrible. So there's that look. And then you have these bottom wicks that we've kept on defending. So yeah, you know what? I don't mind that. Let's punch this ticket. Let's wait till 325.10. If it can break upside, we understand that this can be very, very violent. So this could snap our neck. I don't know if we should do it because we're already long AMC, we're long Netflix, we're short Canopy, whatever that's working now. But this 325 or so area, 325.10, debating that one. But you can see here what's happening. Facebook actually printing lower now. So maybe I'm reading this upside down. We should maybe go short with that being our out. But there it is. Yeah, so ticking lower. Good thing we're staying away. You know, I'm going to stay away from Facebook. Just looking at this, it doesn't look like it wants to go up and maybe even down. So if you're looking for anything, watch out for support. Possibly not holding here. 324 flat. If that gives it up, then we are going to be moving lower. I'm really just worried right now about Netflix, which is back above where I bought it, and AMC, which is starting to go finally now as well. Good reload on AMC. Let's get some out here. 30 bucks flat if we can. Look, it's going to be a small win, but just the fact that we can put this back into our blotter, put a win on this one, I'm pretty happy. So 291, 292, let's go. We're going to wait at 30 or so to get a piece out of this one anyways, AMC upside.
Yeah, we were talking about, you got
yes.
it? There you go.
It's got 98s right there.
There you go. Facebook, we were actually looking at Facebook. Somebody in the chat was putting this down or marking this down or asking about this all day. And there really wasn't a whole lot to do on Facebook because I had marked off 320 as the bottom end level. And there was the way it was trading, I was like, oh, if we got above 326, and this was this morning, right? If we got above 326, I was like, you know what, let's get it above and stay above around 1030 or so, then there could be a nice little long. And we never really did. We just kind of leaked all the way down, and we finally kind of cracked 326. The same read is in play for tomorrow, as long as we can kind of set the same tone. Get above 326, stay above 326, get some trading on the buy side, and then at that point you can go for the long. I would feel more comfortable going for the long, putting up, you know, at that point you're putting up about $6 in risk or so if you get above 326 with the 320 stop. It is there. It's just a matter of it's actually not responding to today's moves as much. It has fallen off. 330, this is Microsoft chart. 330 was the high on Facebook this morning. So this was the actual high as we opened, right? It wasn't 330 exactly, it was like 329.90 something. This was the opening price, and then we kind of just trended down, and here we are kind of moving back up to the upside as we close out the day with about 9 minutes left before these imbalances come out. So we're waiting for these tech names to kind of set something up. We traded Microsoft today. I know there's a lot of talk about Apple as well. That's the other big name, right? When you take a look at indexes, you take a look at Apple, Microsoft, those are at the top of any list.
SOPA.
Well, I'm sure SOPA's there somewhere, but Microsoft and Apple at the top of the list in terms of weighting, right? Microsoft at 11% or 10.5%.
Yep.
And Apple at around there as well, maybe at 12% in the NASDAQ. So two stocks controlling 1/5 of the NASDAQ, which is supposed to represent 100 companies.
I dropped a stat last week, and this was as of when I looked at it. And I don't know if you probably weren't sitting here, but it's 52%, 7 companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. So we can name those. I'm sure you guys can name them in the chat. If you don't know the top 7 companies in the NASDAQ 100, just think about the top 7 and you'll be right. So that's what that is if you sit there and think about it. AMC, again, we did get that 30.05 there. We were just sitting, I don't know, just went up there. I put offer enter, grabbed it. We also get the 99 fill or 98, whatever it was, and we threw back over to Arun. So AMC, yes, sir, accelerated the upside. Took some of that profit out, and good thing we changed up our mind there. I mean, look, this thing could fade in and it'd still be a complete disaster, but at least we were able to get some out, and we talked about that heading into only 6 minutes now until imbalances, so that's something to look at. CGC does, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, our Netflix will probably stop out on this one, 590, 150. I might as well just cancel all the orders. We were waiting to see if we can get something back to the upside, but as the market failing here, so is Netflix. So this is probably a losing trade there, but actually, as far as a loser concerned, this is not, I mean, we took $1 there. We are long at 592.70, so we will get out at 591.50, so it'll be about $1 and change of a hit, but we did add back a little bit of shares there. So we added some back, so we will be negative on Netflix if it does break below this 591.50. So just, you know, in fairness, that's what it is. So we'll talk about that. And then CGC here, we shorted against that level there. I mean, it can't be any better than that. You want to do this? We'll hit an animation, Lucas. There it is. So it is back to working a little bit. We're just trying to stack up some cash now. That's literally all that we're doing. So the average price in there, we're only short at 71 on CGC. Is that right? You're flat, right?
Yeah, I'm
okay,
done.
so you're flat. So those positions are going to be right for me and right for Arun. If you see anything pop in, maybe that comes. But for right now, I'm going to wait to see back into here. I have bids all over the place. I have bids at 67s, bids lower at 60. So we'll just see if that does fill. So right now, AMC and CGC and Netflix, 3 trades that we have. And Facebook really just face planting itself, not doing anything right now. Another name I want to talk about, Arun. Oh, man, you know, I should have took some Advil or something, because now just hearing my own voice, I know it gives you guys headaches. I can't imagine what it's giving me right now. And look at this. Look at it, barcoding. I just got out of something. What just dropped down there? Netflix just dropped down. So we do take a loser there on Netflix. Whatever, it didn't even really affect me. But there's still, loss is a loss. But there's Netflix right now. Sorry, this is Tesla, just back and forth. I tried 900, it broke. You'll see me a little bit negative on Tesla. I tried a 900 break, didn't really work. We got out right away. But you could see the bottom today. I mean, stupid, why even get out? 896.50 or so has been that bottom, so that's definitely worth a hold. If you want to get long now and you think that the futures might bump, that could be a good little name right there. Tesla off of a 596 bottom spot right there. What's up, Neil?
Yeah, just we're going to talk earnings probably a little bit after the imbalances come up, but one of the names that's going to be reporting, I know was on that list, is Rite Aid, which just retested the high of the day up 2%. And you're looking at overall weakness in the market. You want to look for something strong. Rite Aid reporting before the bell tomorrow morning, right at market highs on volume. So whether somebody knows something, it has not been the best ride for Rite Aid. That's not even a good pun. It's not even close to one. As this stock has been under a tremendous amount of pressure. You know, it did have those highs back in September on $18, $19 and pulling sharply back in. So it would have room to run, and maybe somebody knows a little something when it comes to Rite Aid reporting tomorrow morning.
This company has, I even remember this name since I started trading, and I feel like it's been around this price point. And then I actually wanted to confirm that, but no, it actually did get up to like 180 bucks. There's some splits in there too, so I may be off on the prices, but it's around this 10, 12 bucks. And I feel like in the last couple of years, it's just been doing this. Just kind of moves here and there. There might be a little pop, and then we kind of just do a whole lot of nothing, and then here we are back again. Today, obviously up 2%, moving strong, but moving strong is like, what, 30 cents for a stock like this right now? So Rite Aid, something to keep an eye on. In terms of daily setups, I'm not really noticing anything that I can actually work with. If we, actually, let me pull this one over. If we were to go to the upside, what do you have? 1250, 13 as resistance. That's about 20, 30 cents away, at least to get to 1250, and then you have resistance all the way up. At what point do you catch this? This has got to be more of a investment value purchase, which you kind of just ignore the chart, buy the stock if you like the stock in terms of value, and then you kind of just leave it be, because chart setup wise, it's not geared towards intraday setups, right? It's going to be very difficult to trade, especially with the way it's been moving. So I'm just going to stay away from it, regardless of, unless they surprise everybody and blow up earnings and they get north of like 16 bucks or something. At that point, yeah, it can change the game. That 16 would be where the location changes for the activities start picking up. So we'll keep an eye on that. We've got about 3 minutes left, 2 minutes now, before these imbalances come out. I've got the imbalance locator here. So for anyone who doesn't know, at the end of the day, there's always an imbalance that kind of shows you where orders are going to be coming in for the final official closing price. So there's sellers that want to sell to get the closing price, buyers want to offset that, and then whatever the difference is the imbalance. So if there's one side that's larger than the other, then you're going to see it here, the symbol name, the size, the direction, the paired value just means how many shares have already been matched by the other side, and then you can ignore source and market time. Well, market time is just what the last update time was. You can see this information is from 9:30 this morning because that's when the first feed stops. As soon as the market's open, imbalances are done updating, right? You get this information until the market opens up, and then it stops updating. So we'll get all that information. We'll get NASDAQ, we'll get New York, we'll get Amex. Actually, you know what? I don't have Amex. Let me add Amex entitlements. It is called Amex. Okay.
Yep.
I thought they changed it to NYSE ARCA. Anyways, yeah, so I've added Amex. So we'll get all three markets in North America, or in in the US up here. We can also add Toronto as well, but I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are looking at Toronto, but in the event that Toronto were to show up, I can always put that up there as soon as we get that info. So we should be getting that. That should be dropping in about 40 seconds or so. So for now, let's take a quick look at the futures here. What are we doing? 50s? Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on with these futures. I don't know what you would do with these futures at this price point. It's sitting right at 50, well, 49 and a quarter, close enough. So not a whole lot to do on the future side of things. In terms of stocks, Sean, what do you got going on? Do you want me to keep going? Or?
Oh, I've got nothing. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I'll take this over. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, this is the thing right now. We did get stop hunted on Netflix, exactly what we thought. So we got right back in, thinking that hey, maybe that's what happened to us, and it looks like it did. We got out at 591.50 or whatever, and then we just punched back long. As here we go, the imbalance is out now. Look at Netflix now, baby. A nice little runner for us here, back into the money $1 right now on Netflix. So we're up to 595.50. Let's see where these imbalances are here, Arun. So big time Marvell with a nice bid, Apple with a nice bid, starting to rally some of these markets. So far so good here as the market's starting to go upside now. We got to manage some of our trades. CGC starting to get blown out, but Netflix right back into the money, baby.
Yeah, what do we got here? Imbalances while Sean manages positions. We've got Marvell buy side, 2.1 million shares on the buy side. You saw the futures take off to the upside. It looks like there's some buy side imbalances, I guess net buy maybe. So here we are, buy side, 2 million shares on Marvell. DNA, sell side 1.6. IVZ, both ETFs, sell side 1.5. And then Cisco. Cisco was a hot name today. Was Cisco? It's a New York stock. Let's not. No, it's not. It is a NASDAQ stock. Damn it.
NASDAQ, yep.
I keep getting them. I can't remember which one, but I always get confused with. Cisco up on the day. Is it up on the day? Oh, get it right. Get it right. I can do it. There we go. It's flat on the day, actually. So Cisco, 1.5 million shares on the sell side. Not a whole lot paired. The only big one is Apple, I'm noticing. Million shares on the buy side with 4.9 million shares paired. So here goes Apple to the upside. Come on, give me the Apple chart. I just want the Apple chart. There we go, north of 170 and change. It was sitting around 169.50 something before these imbalances came out, up 40 cents or so, nearing the range high, the range top, which sits around 170.50. So here we are moving on Apple. That's got the largest, in terms of absolute value, including what's been paired as well. I'm noticing that, well, is Apple gone now? No, yeah, Apple's getting smaller. It's at 5.8 million shares total with 841,000 left to buy. So here we are waiting on this. Thing with the imbalances though, the first update is 350, and then you get the floor update from as floor orders are inserted into the imbalance. at 355. So you're going to see these numbers change once again in about 3 minutes or so. If these numbers were to stay strong, then you're going to see this market go up. If they were to get smaller, this market's going to fall off. If this number completely changes direction, meaning a lot of these buys go to sells and then nothing else comes into offset, it's going to flip from a buy to a sell, at which point you're putting pressure on the sell side and you're going to see these stocks fall off. So we are going to wait to see what happens at 355.
All right, good. Yeah, thanks for covering there, Arun. It doesn't look like much happened though. I thought AMC, was going to test that 30. We should have got more out. We let it go there. And then Netflix. This is really the situation here, and it's just so funny because it's really light amount of shares. Like I was offering basically pretty much every penny down. Like as soon as this touched 94 and didn't go past VWAP, I offered, stopped. I just kept offering all the way down. The thing is, I didn't want to market it because it was like 30, 40 cents. And the more I close this spread, the more these see like 94, 93. Now someone's going to go 92. And they just build this up all the way down until the gap is closed. So unfortunately, we are sitting somewhere in here to get out. We need to use the momentum to get us out of this. But it's $1 in the money. Yeah, I got it. It's $1 in the money right now, all the way to the upside here. So hopefully Netflix will come through for us and print us somewhere 593 middles. So what's up, Neil?
Yeah, I know Lucas giving me a hard time because I'm like, yeah, just after Sean's done, we'll do some earnings here. A couple of things to look at. Obviously, it's not a busy week, not an overly busy week, but there are a few names that are going to be reporting. I know 2 or 3 of them that should at least be movers for tomorrow's session. You saw CCL this morning, but if we can pop the board up here. Right smack dab in the middle. I used to wear them back in university, not much anymore. I like some other shoes than Nike. And Micron also going to be reporting. So a couple of big names there. We saw Rite Aid popping up late in the session to the high of the day. Relative strength in Rite Aid, but I kind of feel like middle of the board there should be the most interesting.
Right, come on, Netflix, just get us out. Yeah, we like Nike there. I've got the Air Force Ones on right now. Just print me. There it is, finally. So there it is. We got printed at 25. So yes, sir, we'll end the day putting some money back on the board there for NFLX. We take that out there. Nice. So we got stopped out, but then battled it back right there. So in, out. Either way, Netflix. Thank God we got that print right there at 25. We were just sitting there. We let it roll up and hit us. May just get out of this with only 5 minutes left. Let's check out the imbalances quickly here to see if there's anything going through. Don't even know what Ziki is here.
Zixi just popped in,
yeah. There for a big sell there.
Wait for a few more minutes.
Yeah, nothing happening there. JP Morgan right now on the bid. 154.
We should get an update right now.
155. So here comes the update. All switching. Yeah, so JP Morgan rips up to the high side right now. Zixi still there. Occidental. But there goes JP Morgan staying as a bid. So you're seeing it there on the update. And here it is, right? 350 comes out a buy. 153.60 just rips up now 50 cents. So there it is. That's what we were hoping for with AMC. We did not get that bid on AMC, so that doesn't look like it wants to go higher. But JP Morgan continues to work with a bid imbalance. Pretty much the biggest one on there. I mean, that's PSX. Again, another good one there in the oil space. Yeah, so nice move upside there, but since 350, not much up. But it looks like JP Morgan's going to be the big winner if you looked at it so far.
Yeah, I looked up in the chat. Omar, I see you. SOPA again to the downside. Damn, Maroon, how you miss it? I'm just too cheap, man. It's a simple answer. I'm too cheap to pay for the shorts. Simple answer. But here we are waiting for these. At this point, I'm not going to do a whole lot. These imbalances are small. Apple was there, but Apple's gone too now. So Zixi, what is Zixi? Let's take a quick look at what the stock.
It's not. It must be a buyout.
Oh yeah. Okay. So here's the thing with imbalances, right? Oh no. Shake function. No. That's the arrow shake on Microsoft or on Windows there, where you hold the window, you shake it with your cursor, it just closes everything. Okay, so Microsoft, here's the thing with Zixi, right? 1.1 million shares on the imbalance, 1.3 paired, so total is about 2.4, 2.5 call it. The stock's done 2.1 million shares, has gone absolutely nowhere. And look at the level ones. They're going to absorb whatever's being brought to the table by this imbalance. So this means absolutely nothing. In terms of imbalances. You usually want to see something like this, but on more volatile stock or something with a thinner level one price and bids and where they can't absorb the volume, at which point you're going to see the pressure. But on a stock like this is not going to do anything. It might hit the bid or it might hit the offer, or the sell side, right? So they might hit the bid with some shares here as we get closer to the end, but that's about it. I don't see this going like 4 or 5 cents. It might go like a penny by breaking the bid with the 1 million shares on the pressures or on the imbalance side of things. But At this point, here goes the market, north of 60 after these imbalances came out. I noticed someone said it was a 1.8 million buy-side imbalance. Okay, 15-point move pretty much from those imbalances. We were sitting at about 40, no, we were sitting at 50 when these imbalances came out, and here we are at 60. So I guess 10 points from when the imbalances come out as we close out the end of the day.
Yeah, just update your stop orders. Make sure you don't have any still out there, Arun. And that's it. So we don't get any magical trades. It looks like Tesla does break through 900 again for the end of the day. Jake, you're mentioning Facebook. Yeah, I like that Facebook trade. I just didn't think there was enough time in the day, but that is a good bottom, 322. We'll keep that in mind. And just so you guys know, like we do have all of last week's plus today's sticky notes here. So we have a bunch of sticky notes. There it is here. So we do look after that, and we make down some notes here to anything that we've seen during the day, something key. So when we come in tomorrow, maybe we'll have another look. And I do want to make sure that we understand Netflix's strength a little bit here into today, up 1 and a bit. We'll see if that can hold out tomorrow. Netflix up 1, or the NASDAQ down 1. So we'll have to try to remember that. A good last little out there, though. 593.25, we talked about that. So pretty happy with that. Last couple trades there on Netflix, Chewy, BarkBox, who cares? The real down to $10. Nvidia 277 to end out the day. Your both of our Microsofts, we both like that at 320. Let's check out what Apple's going to end the day at 170. So again, just a lot of nothing here all afternoon. And I think we got to really start to expect that this is the lowest volume week of the year, and or next week, and or the week of. But the week of Thanksgiving this year, we had Omicron, so that definitely wasn't weak volume those couple days, but we now do only have a minute left. So get ready, whoever's lowering the bell, and get ready, Miss V, wherever she is, as we're going to get ready to rock and roll on this one. Randy will lower it, and Miss V will smack it, and we only have 40 seconds left right now. Make sure it's on your board, not on mine. And we have to hit it with like about 12 seconds left. Okay. And that way we'll get that going. Although it's pretty exact now. The system is much better under this current software, I guess. And that's about it, man. Just looking, Netflix up back to 594, now Tesla 902.
Yeah, and the futures they were still rallying. They've slowed down a little bit. They were at 62, 45.62. Now they're backing off below 45.60 as we hit the final 20 seconds of the day. And I've got to keep an eye on this little board here, now, so I get it right. I click.
I think you're about a second off.
I think I'm about a second off.
We only have 6, 5, 4. Get ready, Miss V. 3, 2, and 1. And that is it. So now. All right. So good job there. Even when we give the heads up, we still can't figure that out. But that's the bell. Thank you, Ms. V, for ringing that. And thank you for Randy. Next time, a little lower there, and we'll get a good one. But Neil, the market is now closed. Let's find out how we wound up.
Yes, sir. I think Randy did that on purpose, by the way, but I'm just going to throw that out there. Look, the S&P, obviously we're going to end in red territory here, but you are going to notice the S&P and the NASDAQ did battle back to close down just 1% to the downside. It was about 1.5 at midday and in the morning, while the Dow was the big laggard, down 1.4%. There. You already noticed, Sean, the relative strength there in Netflix out of those big FANG names. Toronto's going to be down. Crude oil, a bit of a bounce back since they're closed, but still down 3% and relatively flat if you look at the last 24 hours here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Overall, at the start of the week, maybe not the best, but there was a slight rally in the NASDAQ and the S&P, at least relative to where we were this morning.
It was a rally right off that support level, but never set it up. Like I was looking at that 20 south of 25 for a potential long. Never set it up though. But hopefully we get another trade at some point because the market can't stay in this range, can it? It's a wide range though, but hopefully we get some other trades setting up as we get closer and closer to the 4-day weekend. Thursday is the last trading day before we kind of go on a long weekend, and we'll be back next week where there'll be a rotation as Neil takes a week off. And I'll be still at his desk, and Brendan's back.
Yeah, so Neil will be off, but it'll be the same thing.
It'll be the same thing, yeah.
You and I. So, but Brendan will be here. But that's at the end of this week, or next week, like you mentioned. There, someone said check out DraftKings. Look, man, on the chart, there's going to be nothing showing up here all day for these things. Like I just, some of these beatdown names, UiPath, DraftKings, Clover. like, I mean, anything that's SoFi, like anything that's sort of been beat up, I don't really expect a huge rally. If Santa Claus is here, we'll tell you. You'll be able to tell. You'll come up one day, the NASDAQ will just start to inch up all day and then close at highs, and then Santa Claus rallies here. But for right now, it's not. So DraftKings still in the penalty box for me anyways, on a down low side of things. Trader Prad's over there. Prad, say what's up. There we go. Thank you, Trader Prad, for that one. He battled his sweater all day, and hopefully he can figure that out. Yeah, he was uncomfortable in that sweater, so hopefully he'll get that going. And thank you to Ms. V again, the sidekick on the Market Mover Show, although she's really the true host. There you go. Thank you, Ms. V, and a great job. The hardest worker here all day, every day. Shout out to Lucas and Randy on the ones and twos. Thank you so much, guys. There it is in the black. So, hey, look, a very, very exciting day. I think we had some good news stories coming through. Neil filling in one more time the next 3 days for Brendan. How was it being over there at the big desk there, Neil?
It was an adjustment, of course, and I understand now why he's always doing this at the end of the show. A Micron just out with their results, adjusted EPS 216 versus an estimate of 212 year over year. That was 77 cents. So a significant beat year over year, a slight beat on earnings per share as the numbers just start to come out. They're up 4%. Breaking the $86 mark just now. But look, I'll be stepping in for Brendan, of course, all week, and it's big shoes to fill, obviously. We'll definitely do our best, but not a bad start to the week.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, I don't know, maybe we should go like Brendan at one of these desks.
That'd be interesting.
Sean, you remember, before we went to YouTube, we did actually, were we on YouTube when we had the rotation where everybody did each job? So, hey, man, Brendan can show off his trades.
Yeah, I used to do all the interviews because my old role, I used to interview all the CEOs and everything for Day Trade the World. So now we're doing it for Trader TV Live, and it's Brendan's job. So, but maybe we'll ask if he wants to sit there. I don't think he does. He likes what he does too much. But thank you for everyone joining us today. It was a fun time. There's the four of us. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be able to come check it out with us. Make sure you check our watch lists in the morning. That's important. You want to trade stocks that are moving like Micron right now, up 5%. So we'll catch everyone tomorrow. It's 4:04. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. It's AMC. See you guys. Enjoy.